I'm not racist, but I got a joke you're gonna love.
Damn saggers.
Well, I'm retarded.
I'm like, all right.
I didn't think I was gonna do today.
This has gotten off the rails in the last 10 minutes.
I guess my mom's not watching this show.
Oh, God.
I could have told you that before we started.
God, always when I sit next to you, Nick, it's a sweater. I just have
What?
hairy man just feeling your hair twist into mine.
It's an exothermic human.
I'm
know.
always willing to sit next to him, just so you know.
What do you want from me?
Nothing. Shave this arm.
No. No.
Just one arm.
No.
Your tattoos will look so good.
No.
Are you
They'll be covered in ingrown hairs.
But
Not
So
doing
this
it.
has been brought to you by Manscaped.
start it off, Mr. Brand. Oh wait, no, we're gonna do it right first.
Sure, yeah, we're gonna
do it right. Three.
Actually, do we want to real quick?
Cody, come. Do the
All right.
hi, everyone.
3, 2, 1. All right. Right up here, big boy.
He's pissed about it.
Cody's mad about it.
Is this what you guys drink when you're on your periods?
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Unsubscribed Podcast. I'm joined today by Eli Double Tap, Nick Fat Electrician, Ryan Habitual Linecrosser, Brandon Herrera, and myself, who's leaving now.
I'll miss you forever.
He shits himself. Like, whoa, that started really hard.
God damn.
We just push his body out the way. Got 2 more hours with it. Hey, everyone. Wow. Hi. New to the podcast, Mr. Ryan. We have different takes. I can't wait for this episode because it was already hostile in there. And I knew it's going to be very hostile. Nick's just been fighting with the guests lately. Yes.
That's true. Yeah. Me and Steven almost got in a fight over how much power Hirohito had during World War II yesterday. That was interesting. It worked out, though.
Yeah, you guys missed
You
it.
won? Is that where you...
I don't know. We can let the audience decide. I feel like I won.
So today we're just going to decide whether or not your mother or your mother loves Shakespeare more.
It is spelled a little bit differently. This all right. I'm actually gonna take the plunge here.
It's good.
Get
It
this-
is
get this man a
surprisingly
Busch
good.
Light.
You want a Busch Light?
Oh my god!
All right.
This
This
is
would taste great if you dumped
Can you
it
push the
out
mic
and
towards
filled
him a
it
little
up
more?
with rye whiskey.
All right, to be fair to you, tangerine is one of my least favorite flavors.
You actually,
and it's warm.
You genuinely drink this stuff?
push that
You
where?
put this in your body.
Well, if he's going to
So
be
Try this.
homophobic about White Claw, we got to have
This is much better.
I could do that. Thank you. Cheers.
Okay.
Cheers.
They make out. I'm like, well, that
Cheers,
was
man.
this is a star-studded episode.
Is it better?
Is that, you know, I've been in a room with 6 guys and a couple of cameras before,
Feeding you
and
drinks?
it's gone a different way. So I might.
Well, you know, we all pay for college different ways.
That was,
You know, when you're at 11,
it was a field in under 30.
look, man, when you're in 11 Bravo and you're out for a 21-day field problem, you know
What happened? What just happened?
You cut off. Never mind.
No, go for it.
What, not the way he cut it off earlier. I thought you made a pretty edgy joke right out of the gate.
Really?
Well, if you were talking about things going a different way when you were surrounded by men and drinking, and you said, you know, when I was 11, and then you paused.
Oh, dear God.
I thought you made a really aggressive joke, and then you're like, I was in 11 Bravo.
So how was karate?
Read a little bit too far into that one.
We don't go to camp anymore. I'm gonna fucking kill him over here.
Jesus Christ.
Get my notes out. There we
Look,
go.
the infantry is probably one of the most homoerotic organizations a man can be in.
Hold on. The way I scale it is infantry, army. Hold on, stay with me. Marine Corps in general. Marine
Cav.
Corps infantry.
Oh.
Yeah, I go
Cav.
Marine Corps. And, like, this is the thing. The Marine Corps infantry is the gayest straight organization that exists in this world. They'll be like each other and just be like, yeah, you like that, Pogue? It's the weirdest thing, man. You're gay for looking. It's fucking weird, man.
I knew a guy who made a Fifi. Are you familiar with what a Fifi is?
Yeah, we've all deployed.
A Fifi is a
Eli
device.
doesn't know.
I don't even know what a Fifi is.
So Fifi is an acronym, and it is a device that simulates the gentle touch of a woman. You would typically take a medic's glove and roll it up in a towel, and you would take some KY jelly that the medics have, and you would use that to
Procreate,
ingratiate
with it. We're
yourself.
gonna go.
I just picture so many notes being taken from
It's
the
just like
audience
the
right now.
Swiss, it's like the Swiss Family Robinson fleshlight.
I
Put it
once
in the
knew a
microwave
guy.
for 10 seconds. It's good to go.
Jesus.
This guy, he took it and he went out to the wood line and he put it in the crack of a tree and grabbed the two branches of this tree, and the whole wood line's moving.
Oh, you were in the infantry.
Dude, straight out there, jungle. Fucking jungle, man. I just,
Jungle.
I like my brain just like he's making ape noises. Like my brain just took that way further than
He was
just, I'm sorry.
he was very rough with that tree.
Oh yeah.
What was his nickname after that? Groot?
George of the Jungle.
What year did you get out of the army?
Oh God, 2014.
So you joined in
I'm almost 50.
94?
94, yeah. I'm almost 50.
You gotta watch Peacetime Army to actual wartime Army too.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is that, like, you know, you have in the 90s, it was all like, who are we supposed to fight? I don't know. You know, we're gonna make up enemies, right? The Krasnovians, right? And occasionally you'd pretend to be Serbians. 1-4 it's like the best unit of the Russian army. Well, I mean, some guys, 3rd ACR would say differently, but 1-4, best unit of the Russian army, the Krasnovian army, right? 75th Motor Rifle Regiment. And we're
Never
the bad
heard of
guys. 1-4, they're the bad guys that NATO can practice against the bad guys. And we would wear different uniforms, drive M113s that are Viz-modded to look like BMPs and so on. And we would fight against the good guys, which would be
What was the laser gear? Miles gear?
Yeah,
Did you
Miles
have
gear.
Miles gear at the time?
And
Yeah.
you know, honestly, like it's fun for a couple of days when you're in Germany and it's like 50 degrees and you've been outside for like 4 days at a time. You're like, all right, let's light a fire. Maybe NATO will call in artillery on us, and that way we can go back to the warming tents.
Or you are infantry.
That's like a strictly military thing. You know what sounds better than this? Fucking dying. That's strictly a military mentality.
This was back in the days.
We walk around with literally, and I've said it before, walking around the middle of the night and in patrols, and everyone's just like, what about the cherries? Well, I won't feel it.
As soon as you're done inhaling.
Funny story about that. I was a cigarette smoker for years before I switched to cigars. I love cigars, but cigarettes have their own magic, right? And I know once I was on a hilltop.
Look at Charles' cigarette in his mouth, unlit right now, just unironically.
Connor's like, he is our in-house Marlboro
I'm
man.
telling you.
I was on a hilltop in Germany, right? And I was my turn for watch, and I lit up a cigarette, and I was smoking the cigarette. Now, there was this one guy, his name was Smitty, and this guy, he used to carry the M60 machine gun. Very heavy machine gun. You
That
know?
was before my
big
time.
fucking guy.
That's
Big, well,
Sometimes they give it to
Your
the small
machine
guy.
gunner's name was
As
Schmitty,
a-
too?
Smitty,
Mine too.
yeah.
Hold on, pause real quick. Hold on. We just missed something. Eli goes, sometimes they give it to the small guy. Were you on gun team?
No, I was at SDM, so I didn't
Oh, okay. I
have to worry
just
about
wanted
that.
to.
I could shoot, thank God.
Well, it's like Don Graves talking about like how his fucking higher-ups hated him, so they gave him the flamethrower as the shortest guy.
Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. Just continue.
No. So I'm up on this hilltop, and I was smoking a cigarette. Figured, no one's around. NATO isn't around, right? I'm smoking this cigarette, and I'm ashing. And this guy, Smitty, he loved carrying, or he loved shooting the 60. Hated actually carrying it, right? Hated it. And so, like, we ended up, I was a Dragon Gunner at the time, which is an anti-tank missile. So I was having to carry some of his ammunition because he couldn't hump it.
God, this is so different than... I don't even know what a dragon is.
A Dragon, it's an anti-tank missile. It's wire guided. It's similar to the Javelin,
Javelin.
but before the Javelin.
Wait,
Okay.
wire
Before
guided, that's
computers.
toe.
Well, the Javelin was wire guided too. It was created in the 70s, and it was a small wire guided missile. Reached out to about 1,400 meters.
Now I learned
1,400,
something.
1,400
Hey,
meters, yeah.
here we go.
And I used to carry
Usually
this damn
Nick
thing.
teaches.
I carried this damn thing up and down freaking hills in Germany, right? And technically, it was a Sagar, which is a Russian
Yes.
missile, not a Dragon,
Yeah.
because we're the bad guy.
I actually have a Sagar missile in the shop.
I thought you were about to make a racist joke. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It does sound offensive.
Yeah.
Someone called me that. I'm like, whoa,
You
guys.
dirty fucking Sagar.
Nobody liked this guy. Nobody likes Smitty, right? And so
Apparently
one-
not. They
yeah.
made up a slur.
For him.
Give it a 60 to the Sagar. I'm sorry.
Had a couple of cigarettes, and then I swapped out for the next guy to go on watch, go to bed. And stand 2 in the morning. Stand 2 is the time when everybody has to be up. I think it's half hour before daylight and then half hour before sunset, right? Because that's when the French and Indians attack.
You
Wait,
never.
I've never had.
You
what
never
the-
had
never
to
had
stand
stand
to?
to?
Hold on,
No.
hold on.
Yeah.
There's some actual. So it originated when the French and Indians would attack because they would use the sun at their back to like kind of
to attack. Yeah, it's natural. It's Sun
And
Tzu.
the Taliban. I'm surprised you didn't know about this. The Taliban would often do that. Sun up and sundown. They would attack during those times because like our NVGs, like we own the night. Like I got very comfortable in the night in Afghanistan. During the daytime, we can see as far as they can. We have better optics. We're better shots. We don't fucking spray and run in sandals. And so they would attack when the sun was going down or
Collateral,
coming up. I'm surprised you didn't know
Flip-flop
about that.
rains. Oh shit, they're here.
You never did stand to? Like every
And
morning?
Iraqis
Before
never.
they come over the hill, you just hear,
They're coming. Oh, wait. I don't know why they're fucking.
I know. I was like, they're Indian now.
This is not Your tactics are shit.
Holy shit.
I'm sorry.
No, we didn't because even at Fort Lewis.
Joe Bob's on position.
Show Bob's.
You never did stand 2.
No. How the fuck have I missed this?
Yeah, before
Nick,
a
did you?
half hour before, like maybe it was a '90s thing. I don't know, but
He didn't. Well, he knew he did it. I didn't. I don't
Hold
fucking
on.
know.
Did you ever do Afghanistan?
No.
Did you ever do Afghanistan? That might be it. Afghanistan was pretty well known. Like that was a pretty common thing. The Taliban were smart. Like we killed all the dumb ones. All the smart ones would like.
Well, they
Okay.
were fighters. They've been doing war for a long ass time.
and ideally as well for stand 2, you start all the vehicles at the same time. So you have you count like 4, 3, 2, 1. Everyone starts their vehicles at the same time, so the bad guys can't go. Okay, there's one vehicle here, one vehicle here, one vehicle here.
Okay, so it's everyone's up, running, and then you guys are smoking cigarettes.
Yeah,
The
well,
Sagar-
I went to bed and I heard
Watch
this,
your language.
This voice.
beep that out, Chase.
His voice goes, what the heck, guys? What the heck? What the heck? What the heck? And Smitty gets up, and there's burn holes in his sleeping bag, and there's ash like on his hair, like in his face. Apparently, I had been standing right below him while I was smoking. And so he's screaming at the top. It's like echoing off the hills in Germany, right? Like
You're just ashing on him?
he's like, I didn't know. I didn't know he was down there. It was dark,
Disrespectful.
So I was ashing
Damn
on him.
Saggers. You're just ashing on him.
So.
It is a slur.
It's, my squad leader. What's going on, guy? He runs over. Just shut up. It's stand 2. You got to be quiet. And he shows him the holes. He's like, who did this? Who did this? I'm like, all I know is probably me. But
All I know who's about to do it. NATO.
right. So we get back, and he gets madder and madder the longer we're out in the field. We get back, and we when you come back in from the field, you'll clean off your gear. Right, clean off all the mud, right? So we have these rooms to clean off all our gear, and he's like egging me on as we're cleaning off our gear, and he's like challenging me and stuff. And finally, he throws his gear down and goes, "That's it, McBeth. I call you out." And he storms out.
To a duel? Like,
What is this? So I'm in 3rd grade. Meet me by the flagpole, And my squad leader was like, he called you out. You got to go do it. Now, this was relatively...
90s was a hell of a
I was just
time.
gonna say, what year is this?
This was 60 pounds ago, all right? So I was 5'10", wet. I'm 155 pounds.
I don't think
right?
your height changes. Way.
yeah. Very confused by that.
Fucking wet.
I got a part of my body whose height changes when it gets wet, believe me.
That's Nick's fucking Tinder profile.
So my squad leader's like, dude, he called you out in front of the men. You got to go fight him. I'm like, oh, great. So I'm skinny guy, 5'10", 155 pounds. And this guy, he was a former firefighter. At least he said he was, right? Like, you know, who knows, right?
Volunteer.
You know, he was a big dude. He was like you. He was like, you know, barrel chest dude.
I'm a big dude, apparently.
And I'm like,
yeah, congrats, Brandon.
you know, I thought, you know, I'm walking out there thinking, oh man, this guy's gonna kick my ass. And you know, I go up to him. I think it's gonna be one of those like I throw a punch, he throws a punch. Break it up, guys! Break it up! You know, someone.
That's if you have battle buddies.
We fought.
Otherwise, they're like, damn, he's getting his ass beat. Stop! Don't
We
interrupt.
fought for like 3 freaking minutes. He beat the crap out of me.
Someone's gonna stop at any moment now. Your face is just getting pummeled in.
He beat the living daylights out of
From
me.
that day forward, you hated saggers.
So the funny thing is that a platoon sergeant from another unit comes out of a orderly room and sees, break it up, guys, break it up. You know, and I'm like bleeding and like.
Seen the other guy. We do. He's right here. He's quite fine, actually.
He helps you out.
He was fine. I say to my squad, they're like, Sergeant, why didn't you stop us? He goes, you know, I don't like Smitty either. I want to see you kick his ass.
After the first minute you didn't notice is not going that way. Well, I thought maybe by round 2 minutes in.
That's the modern Ukraine conflict.
McBeth is making,
Summed up in one.
McBeth is making his hands hurt. Don't interrupt.
Hey, Eli! What you doing?
You're just filing taxes.
Well, that's not what my taxes look like, but either way, I'm here to talk to you about ExpressVPN.
Why are you here?
Oh, I see you're using incognito mode. Did you know incognito mode won't hide what kind of taxes you're filing?
What do you mean?
It doesn't matter what mode you use or how many times you clear your browsing history. Your internet service provider can still see every website you've ever visited. Do you want people to know these are the kinds of taxes you're filing, Eli?
Wait, are you in my house?
What makes you ask that? It doesn't matter if you get your internet through Verizon or AT&T or your local internet service provider. In the US, internet service providers can legally sell your information to ad companies.
Leave me alone.
Were the taxes I sent you not good enough for you, Eli?
I don't want to see your taxes.
Just visit the link at expressvpn.com/unsub and you could get 3 months free on a 1-year package.
That's expressvpn.com/unsub.
Protect your online activity today with the VPN rated #1 by CNET and Mashable. That's expressvpn.com/unsub to learn more.
All right, so I got presents. Unfortunately, I didn't get one. I didn't know you were going to be here.
Oh, you're all good.
But you know,
No, okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
so these are my open it up.
Okay.
It's the second best thing to come out of Maryland. Old Bay seasoning.
Brandon, I'm so sorry you missed out on this.
Which I'm not a seafood guy at all. So like that's
I'm putting it in my
Easy
Bush
button.
Light.
Dude, you can put it on
Tahini.
popcorn. You can put it on French fries.
Can you put it on Bush Light?
Maybe.
Would it
I
be
mean,
like a tahini?
I
I was about to say it's not tahini. So
I would
it's-
snort that
close?
stuff.
I've never tried Old Bay, so I might just like take a little.
Here, give me a little dab on that knife.
we snort
You
it
gonna
now?
start? Are you really gonna fucking?
I'm from Maryland, baby.
Oh, shit, I didn't think I was going to do that.
This podcast has gone on for quite some time. That is the most sociopathic shit I've ever seen in my life.
Congratulations.
I'm an infantryman and I'm a Marylander.
Fucking. Well, I'm retarded. That's,
I was like, this, he's gonna.
Chase, I think we have to technically blur that.
I don't know the rules for that.
I don't either. Nobody ever thought to fucking make rules about that.
Just put a drawing up and said he snorted it.
Leave it up.
there's gonna be some fucking.
If the YouTube
mod
executives
YouTube
have to have a meeting about whether or not they're going to monetize snorting seasonings,
That's on us.
I'm happy.
That's
If you get demonetized, I apologize. I get demonetized all the freaking time.
I'm thinking of our
don't.
fucking
He
YouTube rep
does.
just sitting there like Ben Affleck with the cigarette.
We had to have a conversation. Actually, I told them our beautiful YouTube rep misunderstood what I said. With we had the 2 World War II veterans on, and he was like, and the and something else, something.
We gotta blur that one too.
Yeah, Chase, blur that. And
It's a shortened word for Japanese people. That is exactly what you fucking think it is.
I thought it was shortened for jalapenos, but I'm just
Also that, yeah.
That's what we meant. And that's what they meant.
yeah.
Come to find out, that got age restricted or demonetized
at
for
least, yeah.
that. And I was like, hey, can you get that checked again? We fixed it. It was what they said in the time. He's like, well, I'll try to pitch that to the guys. So the next day he's like, okay, I'm on the phone. He's like, okay, so I just tell them that it was how they spoke in the day. I was like, what? He's like, well, you told me to tell them that it's okay to say. I was like, no, I didn't. No, we edited that out for you, buddy. No, you do not have to go and tell them it's okay to say.
Balls to him
Dude,
for
that's what I
fucking
told
like
him.
making that argument to Silicon Valley.
I'll make that argument.
It was
They
a
need to be
different time.
racist.
Listen,
I'll
it's
make
just like
the
your
argument.
grandfather in the back of a video
I think
bitching
he
about
should be
who's
allowed-
at the front of a bus. Like,
It was a different time.
No, for real though, I don't think it's any different than saying Nazi.
No, it's
no, that's just what they said back then.
yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's true.
Well, no, but it's
Oh.
also like in the context of like, yes, the Nazis were German, but it was a very particular type of German at a very particular point
You
in time.
fucking Nazi.
Yeah.
Like,
For-
that's-
yeah.
I've got a
Yeah.
joke that you're gonna love.
Oh dear
Oh,
God.
All
fuck
right.
me.
All right, so
I'm not racist.
it's now the 10th
I'm not
day.
racist, but I got a joke you're gonna love.
10th day of the Ukrainian incursion into Kursk, right? And Vladimir Putin doesn't know what to do, so he calls Stalin's ghost. He says, Stalin, help me. Nazis are in Kursk. What do I do? Stalin goes, do what I did. Send your best Ukrainians and ask for U.S. weapons.
Fucking Christ.
Good.
Right.
Good. Let's talk about the Ribbentrop-Molotov Pact.
Go for it, Nick.
Okay, fine. So because if
You wanna grab a
if
drink down the road?
anybody hasn't
Oh yeah, we fucking
seen Ryan's content, he's really good at finding misinformation and propaganda from Russian sources or pretty much any other ones. But you
Very
track
good
stuff
at it.
back, and one of the things that I looked into a ton was the Ribbentrop-Molotov Pact of World War II, and Vladimir Putin, I think it was 2018 or 2019. Actually went and made it a law that you're not allowed to, well, you're allowed to talk about it, you're just not allowed to have the incorrect opinion about it. And they've actually arrested people, and it forced not the UN, some other gigantic agency to put out a statement that no, the Ribbentrop-Molotov Pact absolutely was a catalyst for starting World War II.
Who else would have it been? Like NATO, EU?
It might have been EU.
Yeah.
I think it might have been,
Can you
European
explain? I'm
Union.
not familiar with this pact.
The
Can you-
Ribbentrop-Molotov Pact was a non-aggression pact between Nazi Germany and the USSR.
Okay, I've heard
there
of
was
that, I
also
just didn't know it was called
a
that.
secret portion where they had agreed, hey, I'm going to attack Poland. You should attack Poland around the same time, and we could attack it together. And then if you did that, you can have this part and I'll have that part, and then we can all split up Europe together while we're not fighting, but we're also not allies, even though we're declaring war on people at the same time and not fighting each other.
Which they had a great time until Hitler failed the trust fall.
Yeah. that's-
So you got him with that one. Jesus Christ. You just spit all over. You just spit on it.
It's only got a little snot on it, so.
I'm usually the one that
just
spits.
watch it
I know. Go to him, Brad.
fucking. I do want to talk about Poland for a second. Okay, so if you guys have seen some of my
Poland
videos-
doesn't even like to talk about Poland.
No, I think they do.
European Texas.
Almost a joke. They fucking exclusively talk about Poland in my
Really?
comment section.
Oh
Yeah,
my
anytime Poland's mentioned, they shit their pants.
I made the joke about Little European Texas, and people well, why do you call it that? Why do you call it that? And I was like, okay, let's go through and this is just off the top of my head. These numbers may not be perfectly accurate, but Poland, when the U.S. said this is for sale, they said yes. That's pretty much what the United States government has. 270 HIMARS. We have 270 of them. You know how many Poland bought?
As many as we sold.
460.
HIMARS.
HIMARS, the high mobility artillery rocket system. The fucking
Oh, gotcha.
Truck that shoots a giant
Oh,
rocket.
fuck
Which is
yeah.
basically
the,
what
the
every-
box on it, the one with the box.
Which is
got
what
it.
the Ukrainians fucking really want.
Were you like a
infantry.
42 Alpha or something?
It's infantry.
They
They're really good with
Which
guns.
that shifted tides in Ukraine from my understanding.
yes.
I'm
HIMARS,
learning a whole bunch.
We
right
can't
now. I'm
make HIMARS fast enough. But let me see. They just bought. They're building 48 new Patriot launchers to create 12 new Patriot firing batteries. They're building 600 K9 artillery pieces, 800 K2 PLs, the frickin' tanks. They bought 250 M1A2 SEP V3 Abrams main battle tanks. Like, literally anything they can get their hands on. Poland's like, yes.
Sick of people fucking with them.
Bro, like, they are.
To be fair, if anybody has a historical reason to be worried about Russia.
Yeah, it's Poland.
So that's why. Oh, they're armed as fuck.
They
now.
are.
Oh,
like,
it's cool to be in their TA, their territorial army. Like to be a college, if you're not in their their version of the National Guard, if you're not in that, like, you're not getting a girlfriend, dude. Because your girlfriend's probably in the TA.
They are the European version of a battered women's shelter.
I shouldn't have found that so fucking funny. Oh man, we may need to edit that out for me. I found that way funnier than I fucking should have.
Just for that one spot of him laughing, it just goes back to normal.
Fuck, that was. I should not have laughed that hard. I feel bad.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. Holy Jesus Christ! Yeah, no, Poland is. I mean, that's just. They're building, and this is the thing. Poland, I thought like Poland just got fucking steamrolled, right? I paid attention to history. Well, when I started digging
White
into
Death.
it, they have. Well, no, that's Finnish. That's Finnish. Yes,
Is it there a Poland?
The Winter War.
The Winter War. Yep.
Yeah.
Was there a Poland sniper that was famous?
There was probably several Polish sniper rifles.
Simo Hoya.
Yeah, it's
Simo
Finland.
Hayea is Finnish. That's the White Death.
Oh, sorry. I thought that's what you asked.
Yeah, no.
No, you said Poland. Never mind.
Yeah.
Couple hundred miles.
They even have like, I was looking
Winter
into some
War.
of their history. So they have a museum ship, and we have a museum ship, right? We have the USS Constitution, just in case any fucking rapscallions want to get a throwback to like what we did to the Brits in the 1800s. But so I was like looking into it, and so when Germany and Russia invaded Poland, like they took all their ships that were built and just bailed out to the United Kingdom, and then just proceeded to fuck with the Germans up the English Channel. Like that's all they did was just fight with Germans. Just, oh, there's some Germans. Let's annihilate that shit with their battleships that they had. They had two of them, and they were like, we're gonna fuck you up as much as we can.
Which, to be fair, based.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Dude, they were literally like, you know when you play Risk and the first person that like really loses their like area of operation, but they have like a couple of little territories.
Yep.
That's literally Poland just fucking with everybody else all of World War II.
They go to their first alliance. They're like, hey, dude, can I just like operate in this little area that you own, and I'll just fuck up the people we don't like? And they're like, sure.
It was Polish artillerymen that had Wojtek too.
What's Wojtek?
I don't know that.
Wojtek is the Polish artillery bear.
Oh, yes,
From the Battle of Monte Cassino.
Wait, they had the bear that
They
actually
had the
would
bear
walk
that
around.
carried artillery rounds.
Pull that shit up.
And they used it to interrogate somebody. Yeah, it was hilarious.
They used it to interrogate
That is
someone?
the best way to dude, imagine you're gonna
They
get
used it to interrogate
waterboarded.
people.
You're gonna get waterboarded, or B, there's a bear standing behind a guy, and you're like, "Hey, where's Muhammad?" And the bear's just like, you're gonna say like,
Or I
real
give you
fucking
the
quick.
Botox or whatever.
I'm gonna just leave the room for about 5 minutes.
We
unless you
declawed
tell me.
him and took his teeth out. Still really strong.
I think
Still gonna hurt you.
Yeah, he's gonna
He's
break
not
shit.
neutered.
Yeah, he's very horny right now. We gave him Viagra.
Good
A
luck.
horny
have fun.
bear.
Jesus, a horny gummy bear. It's like the worst fucking thing imaginable, bro.
That door opens in 6 minutes.
Please waterboard me.
I guess my mom's not watching this show.
Oh, God.
I could have told you that before we started.
This is where I think it would have been a good idea to watch an episode of the podcast.
Just one.
What am I getting into? Oh, God.
I watched her AK-50 thing. I
appreciate
watched
that.
This means he has no idea. He has no idea what the offenders are.
Oh. Well, we'll get into that in a bit.
You want to do it now or you want to wait?
I feel like it's better if we warm it up.
Okay.
Just kind of
All
like,
right, fine.
what is it, Votok? Or what?
Wojtek?
Wojtek,
Yeah.
there you go.
Wojtek.
Better when you warm them up.
The bear.
Oh, I mean, that was the whole story. They had a Polish artillery bear. It was hilarious.
Change the story. He wasn't moving around. He's the bear.
But
What do you fucking
That's the way it's changed in my mind.
back to the Molotov Pact. The reason I brought it up was because, like, I think, and I've seen other people have said that the reason he actually cared back in 2019 to start shifting the narrative around the Ribbentrop-Molotov Pact was because the argument for why Russia shouldn't be in control of Ukraine was always, well, you know, you started World War II, like, you started this issue, you don't get to complain that it didn't work out your way or you're a huge contributing factor. So there was kind of the argument that, like, Russia's been keying up the disinformation and propaganda years in advance.
Yeah.
And I thought that would be interesting to you, and it kind of goes right into your alley because I watched your video about tracking down Russian bots on Twitter and proving it. It's pretty fascinating, honestly.
Dude, I will, before you go into that, like, you do amazing work, and the level of in-depth stuff you go into, I'm like, holy fuck.
I
This dude was
appreciate that.
infantry?
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised too.
You definitely got way higher on the ASVAB. You just decided, it was like, I'll do that one.
I'll do that
Look.
At first I thought, like, all right, 4 years and I'm done. And I stayed and I kind of liked it. I went to college while I was,
He heard you could get naked pictures on these computer things. He's a fucking expert now.
I was that guy. I do know how to set up a local area network for grunts. But that being said, I went to school for computer science while I was in. And I got a bachelor's in computer science, a master's in engineering management, and then later I got a master's in cybersecurity.
Jesus.
And, it used to be I'd find the bad guys and we put a hellfire through their window, right? And now I find the bad guys and I expose them online.
Okay, so
sometimes I still do the
I
other
do want to
thing now.
ask, and you can like blink once for yes, blink twice for no, so we don't, violate anything that may be from a 3-letter agency. Were you or were you not ever personally or helped responsible for a AIM-9X Hellfire, the knife missile, unaliving a human in this world?
I don't do weaponeering.
Fuck, I don't know what to do.
biggest answer right
Bro, I was
now.
like, I don't know what to do now. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Basically,
Nick, help me.
That answer was. Once the information is out of my hands, I don't fucking touch it.
That answer was, I've never played Hot Potato, but there was a guy that was blindfolded, and I told him the direction.
Okay, fair enough.
That's like, God, one of my one of my relatives, will say, was in the Pacific Theater, and then he was in Korea and then Vietnam. What he did in Vietnam, he did a little bit of spook work, and the only thing we were ever told was that he would go up in basically spy planes, like observation planes or whatever, with some of the locals before the United States was in Vietnam, and they would just take pictures, and they would take pictures of observation bases or whatever, and whatever they took pictures of.
Get them topographical nudes.
The next week when they went up, those places weren't there anymore. But his job was to take pictures.
Were they in like a U2 or?
Couldn't tell you, to be honest. Like, I genuinely don't know. But that was the only thing we were told, is they would take pictures of stuff. And then it just so happened that the next time they went up to take more pictures, the things they took pictures of weren't there.
It's like an Air America kind of thing, or
I genuinely have no clue, like, what
Air
the
America
details
was like
were.
the CIA's Air Force.
Apparently this. Never mind. I probably shouldn't say that. I mean, maybe I could. I don't know. 3-letter agencies apparently still operate 4 F-117 Nighthawks for the United States military. I didn't know that. Yeah, we have 4 of them in our inventory, and they're operated by 3-letter agencies, from what I was able to find on the internet.
And that's just what's declassified.
Yeah, that's... Well, like, this is the thing. Recently, we've come up with some shit. All right, my missiletism's going to take off here.
Do it.
Right?
No pun intended.
We've come up with some... And it's just, if anyone else in the world had done this, we'd be like, oh my God. But because it's us, the world's like, okay. Like, they're just so used to us coming up with weird shit. So we took a Standard Missile 6, which is a surface-to-air, I think it also has surface-to-surface capability, out of a vertical launch system on an Aegis fucking destroyer. And we're like, yeah, let's put it on the bottom of that F-18. So now we have the AIM-174. Yeah. It's
what?
By the way, it's the return of the Phoenix missile. The missile can go further than the F-18 can see with its radar. So the way it's going to work is another plane can lock onto a target that AIM-174 fires from beyond the horizon.
That is so fucking cool. It's literally the baton race.
When you think terrifying.
It's the
That is so
F-35.
fucking neat.
The F-35C will find the bad guys, and the F-18 is the bomb truck. That's the missile truck.
That's
right?
just so terrifying. Like, you could be chasing an American aircraft and be like, ha ha, and then a telephone pole comes out of the stratosphere and sends you back to your god. Like, that's just the most terrifying shit. And
I
then
would hate to fight America. Like,
Hey, I got a guy up here we need to kill. Okay.
look how fast that jet's going. What the fuck? It's dead.
I can tell you, I have no idea what went through someone's mind when they decided to fight us.
I could tell you.
Well, 556. Like, the start. There was there was this one guy I remember. He was Jam. You know,
A little closer to you.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good.
This one guy, he was Jam. You know, and the kid worked in the Iraqi police station. And he was kind of assigned to us as like a little helper boy. Like we'd give him a couple of bucks and he'd go get Aish or whatever, bread and Cokes and stuff like that. And one time I saw that he was taking down like our bumper numbers on our vehicles, And
he's a town band.
yeah, he was Jam, Mahdi Army, right? And I was like, dude, I'm kind of mad at Beak. I was like, Omar, are you gonna kill us today? La 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 la, Siddiqui, bukara. Tomorrow I kill you.
Would you like to meet a bear?
I have a super bear.
But at the same time, like, you probably experienced this in Afghanistan. Anybody who stood up got cut down.
Which they've never seen a bear in their life, so that's already scary as shit, by the way.
The fuck
Maybe
is
there's some in the zoo.
They just
It's
immediately
basically like that scene from Rogue One where they have the tentacle alien come in and interrogate the guy. He's like, what the fuck is that?
I have no idea.
It's a shaved bear dressed as a dominatrix.
But like, okay,
Jesus, Eli, what the?
That's called warfare.
You know how much a
How do I scare the shit out of these
I'm an
people?
American and that's
You know how much a dominatrix costs in Washington, D.C. area?
Why do you?
$350. And I'll tell you how.
what the fuck?
I've started.
Just get fucking 2 White Claws in this guy.
I wouldn't touch this with somebody else's lips.
Old Bay did you use that day?
Just hopped up on Old Bay.
Now, when I evaluate someone for spreading disinformation, I humiliate them online, and then I find their email address and I send them a bill for $350.
Does it always start with?
$350 for dominatrix services. If you want to be humiliated on the internet, I will be more than happy to do it. But I'm going to charge you for it.
So I was, that's phenomenal work. I'm sorry. I just my missiletism.
You threaten them with prostitution?
And I sent him a bill for $350 for online humiliation services. I was at a convention and I met a woman who she was a TikToker and she makes her living.
We do post these, by the way.
Oh,
okay.
Go on the internet.
Keep going on.
I met a woman who was kind of like an online dominatrix. She was a TikToker, and she would charge, and she would just like from the comfort of her own home humiliate men online. I'm thinking like how.
Like, men, we are to blame for this.
We are to blame for it. I don't know what
this
I
is.
guarantee she's making 6 figures.
Oh, guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Not only that, she owned 3 houses. This was in Arizona. She lived in Arizona. Jesus. 3 houses. She was like renting 2 of them out, living in one. And I'm like, I'm here making videos.
This is what happens when you don't kiss the homies goodnight, gentlemen. This is what happens.
Slaving away like a sagger. Making internet videos. And this bitch
is what happens
just
when you
talking down to people.
Are we just going to roll it all together by the end? He's going to be like, oh, so this sagger had his bear, right?
When you don't think about the Roman Empire, this is what happens.
Yeah, this is exactly it.
Poor Chase.
But your missiletism.
My missiletism. Sorry, jumping back to my missiletism. So there's two more things. One, this is still in development right now. I just heard about this thing. Never seen a picture of it. I have no idea how it functions. But I don't know if you know, very recently the United States Navy did a SinkX where they take an old ship and they're like, we're going to fuck this thing up until it sinks. Yeah. Which is cool. I love that we do that. They took a B-2 stealth bomber. By the way, there's 2 countries in this world, those who use the metric system and those who have stealth bombers. So...
I think it's alarming how long we've had them.
Yeah,
that's my favorite part.
Yeah,
they still work.
They almost have a bomber that's comparable to the B-2. It's like that shit we had 48 years ago.
Fucking century.
But
America does it right.
Sucks to not have Howard Hughes.
So they drop this bomb, and it's a bomb from obviously a stealth bomber. Cool, and they're like fucking 50,000 feet up. Cool, but it's called a quick sink. And it's literally designed to fuck up boats, which is a great name.
They're awesome.
I don't know much about it, but apparently it can track down a boat traveling at like 45 knots. So from the stratosphere, a stealth plane can drop a bomb that chases you the fuck down on a boat. God bless America. I love that. That's my.
Wait, okay, why is it called the quick sink?
I'll show you.
Well, you don't want a slow sink.
To quickly sink
You
your
have plenty of time.
To quickly sink your boat. That's what it's designed for.
What does it do? Is it like...
I have no clue how it works. I don't know shit about it. It's still, from what I read, it's still in development. I don't think it's fully
We're
out
gonna
yet.
say, okay, there's a boat in the water.
Oh wow, it broke.
That's called a fucking bomb.
I would assume
It's just a
it would
big
just be
bomb.
like some sort of like explosion under the surface that creates a vacuum
No,
or something.
it is.
or just
It destroyed.
Like it's under the water already.
That's crazy. It could
Oh
be
my
one of
reminds me of
those.
that thing we did for Mr. Beast with his boat.
Watch.
I mean,
This is...
by the time the smoke clears, it's just underwater.
God bless America. I
Chase.
love it so much.
That's amazing.
God, make sure to leave cookies and
Nicholson
milk
is-
out for Raytheon tonight.
It's so good. And then the last thing... So,
Good and bad list. A missile goes down your chimney.
that's for the
I
bad
can't
boys and
talk
girls.
about the weaponeering part of that.
But so very recently, we know Iran was playing a game of fuck around, and we helped them find out a little bit. Honestly, it was just a flex. So they fired X amount of drones, like 400 drones and missiles at Israel, right?
Yep.
And obviously, Uncle Sam was up there just playing fucking whack-a-mole. We were having fun. We were using it on it to just train. That's really what it was for. We just sent up our pilots. We're like, take out as many drones as you can. Whoever comes
Every
back with the most
single
wins.
one of those things was a lifetime of minimum wage taxes.
Like, that's what it was. It was just... So, but what they did is they, for the first time in history, I believe it's the SM-3. I'm almost positive it's the SM-3 because the SM-2 is like a Patriot, kind of, and the SM-6 is more like a THAAD Talon. So the SM-3 is designed to go way the fuck up there. So they smoked a missile outside the atmosphere. Now, that may just sound like amazing and cool on its own, but like I want to put this in perspective. So when we defend
Outside the atmosphere?
yeah, exo-atmospheric. It went outside the atmosphere and said, I'm going to fuck you up out here. You're not hiding from me.
That's
It,
crazy.
like straight up Iron Giant, I am Superman.
Yeah, like from a boat at sea level, okay? But the crazy thing is, so most air defense systems, like we work best when we are the target. So like if I'm protecting an airbase, I'm on that airbase. And as the missile comes in, I shoot it as it's coming back down in its terminal phase. Patriot shoots in terminal, THAAD shoots in terminal. So the phases of flight of a ballistic missile going off on a missile TISM is launch, boost, apogee, separation, and terminal. That's how an average ballistic missile flies. At apogee, which is its highest, which is usually when they're outside the atmosphere, depending on the missile, they're also moving the fastest. They have the most amount of energy. The Navy said, fuck you, I'm going to kill you when you're your fastest. So now I am 100%, after seeing that, I am 100% convinced that the modern U.S. Navy can smoke an SR-71 Blackbird. Just because of that. You can't get high enough and go fast enough for them not to be able to kill you.
Which, when we were talking about this a little bit earlier, I am 100% convinced that we absolutely did not need to do that.
There's no reason.
We just did that for practice. We're like, I just want you to fucking know we can.
Like that's the amount of just, I'm going to do this because whatever reason. I love that. When I tell people like Patriot is a good system, it's a fucking great system. Aegis is better in every way, every shape of the idea. I tell people like the easiest way to compare them is Patriot can see you if you're the size of a softball and about 100 miles away. That's kind of the common connotation. Aegis can kill you if you're 190 miles away and the size of a golf ball. And that's 190 in any fucking direction. Horizon to the space station, whatever the you want to be away.
Is that by proximity of the explosive, or is it like the actual impact?
From launch.
Depends on the
system.
interceptor. Depends.
And we've had it since the 80s.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah,
had
I know
Aegis.
it's an old system. I just don't know if they're considering lethal range, like from when the missile explodes in the blast radius, or if it's like impact a golf ball.
So I believe it would be for that.
And I'm also not sure if you're allowed to say.
Well, I don't.
I know. Now we're in that weird
I was
territory.
like, I don't know for the SM2, 3, and 6 that they still use. I don't know which ones are proximity and which ones are kinetic. So Patriot, like Pack 2s are proximity, shotgun blast.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this the exact same way. A CW3 said this. I'm not going to say his name in front of my entire battalion. Okay. Pack 3 is like some of you boys when you were 15, tip to tip. He said this in front of the whole fucking battalion.
It's like the interstellar thing. What are you doing? Docking.
And pack two is like some of you other boys at 15, tip to explosion. And I was like, fuck. He said this, and I just all of a sudden, quietly, like, this man should lose his job immediately. But we're like, he's a CW3.
This is the only podcast for we got demonetized. Was it the slurs or the government secrets?
We are the legit. We are the War Thunder of podcasts.
Brought to you by.
Which podcast did we give away military secrets on? You don't remember which one? There were a couple.
Bing! Oh my god.
We never gave them.
Sorry.
You gave away secrets?
No, that's fine.
Nobody can prove we ever did.
All alone? Now time to trim the old pubes.
Hey there, beach babe. Are you ready to soak up those summer vibes and get the perfect beach bod?
I don't have pants on.
Yeah, I noticed. Well, you're in luck, because our friends over at MANSCAPED.com have you covered from head to toe. With the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, they'll have you looking and feeling good this summer. Trust Manscaped to unlock the confidence you need to turn heads this summer season. Join the 10 million men who already trust Manscaped and use discount code UNSUB at checkout to get 20% off your order plus free shipping. Let's make this summer your smoothest one yet.
Save me. Keep your ear and nose as tidy as your hedges. With the Weed Whacker 2.0 ear and nose head trimmer, you'll be looking classy as ever.
The updated Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra groin and body hair trimmer got a summer makeover. It's waterproof now for all those times you need to shave your groin or body hair at a pool party.
So get 20% off plus free shipping using code UNSUB at manscaped.com. The summer sun is here to stay, so trust Manscaped to keep those pubes at bay.
We need a history lesson. Tell us some cool history shit.
Oh, I'm so
What do you
wait.
wanna know?
Real quick,
history man.
When was that system developed?
The Aegis combat system was in the 80s.
Yeah.
But so this is the thing.
That's what makes it more terrifying, because it's like that is from the 80s tech with AI and the weapon systems coming
like,
out from
what's-
that is like
It is a killer
absolutely-
robot.
What's
It is
so
a killer robot.
What's so crazy about Aegis? People think Aegis, they think of an Arleigh Burke class destroyer. No, it's the whole fleet together. So if Aegis, if an S or
Oh,
a
great. We
fucking-
built a hive mind.
It pretty much is.
Yeah.
So if it decides, so like let's say a radar anywhere in the fleet picks
Elon's
up a target.
sweating right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Picks up a target, it can go, cool, I'm gonna kill that target with that boat's missile and fire it. Like it's fucking insane what Aegis can
That's
do.
really
Like,
fucking cool.
Wait,
It's-
now so it will be like, hey, this is the closest boat to
Yes.
this, and I will just take this.
Kind of
Yes.
like what I was saying
And
earlier.
it-
It's like it's a baton pass of
Like
like,
it's-
fucking technology. That's
and
wild.
it's doing it while it's moving on the ocean and fighting in hurricanes and shit. Like my radar, if it like sinks half an inch, it's like re-emplace me, and I'm like, fuck.
The missile knows where it is because the missile knows where it is not.
But sometimes it doesn't know where the ground is. I don't know if you know that. Yeah, Patriot chased enemy missiles into the ground in 2003 because it didn't know where the ground was. But now we teach it where the ground
Oh,
is.
allegedly.
Oh yeah, allegedly. We
There
didn't
just
do
happened
that.
to be a couple of bankers above the ground. Oh, you want to
Go on, Brandon.
get off the gold standard? Neat.
I think I've laughed more in this podcast than any of the other ones I've been on, man. I'm dying right now.
We're doing all right. We're doing all right. The kids are okay.
No, dude, I will say the last time you were on with Demo, you, me, and I was like, this is going to be the biggest episode. And it was like demonetized. I was like,
Really?
fuck!
Yeah, I don't know why.
Lots of fucks.
Lots of,
It happens.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Chase,
It was actually
you got
you.
that.
it was me?
Yeah, you said, I think it was 17
Oh, I remember
fucks
that.
in 18 seconds. That was a good podcast. It was aggressive.
So you kicked off my missiletism, okay? That's a you problem.
He's teaching shit to the army. Like
Just
at a certain
handed.
point, just fly.
it really does. Like, I want to be like, oh, you know, our military's like so great and so like the military. Anyone who's been in the military realizes that all it is it's taking a mirror and showing it to the population. Like we're just
A
like
40-year-old mirror. It's a
Like-
portal to the shit we had 40 years ago.
I did a video just the other day, or just actually technically last night, where I used Medea as an analogy. So Russia, I could do
Jesus
battle
fuck.
by myself. And someone like commented and they said like, how do you know Medea? I'm like, I was an infantryman. Did you ever see the infantryman friend group meme? Yeah, you had a black dude, a Hispanic dude, a white guy wearing a cowboy hat because freaking, of course.
I'm watching you like explain like, oh, okay, so there's the current Ukraine situation. So anyway, drawing back a comparison to Norbit.
And you know, a good movie's a good movie. But one of the neat parts about being an infantry or being in the military is that you have this friend group that you would never normally have. Yeah, and you go out to the club when you're in Germany, you know, two white guys, one of them has a cowboy hat, one Hispanic guy, a black dude, and an Asian dude. And you're
They
all
walk
buddies.
into a bar.
Yeah, they all walk into a bar. Sometimes they even get thrown back out again.
Never ever happens. Period.
I've closed a couple of bars.
Oh yeah, I think everyone.
What was
in
your
my
favorite
freaking
experience? Like just going out with the boys in a different country. Was it Germany or where?
Yeah, Germany. Well, I mean, I've been to Germany, Fort Bliss.
If you had to have like a great time and go back in time, with any of your boys in any country,
Savannah.
Pivotal.
Yeah,
boom.
I don't know, pivotal. It would be River Street in Savannah.
Really? No shit.
River Street. At least.
I've only been a couple times. I've never really.
Maybe it was the 90s. You know, it's the 90s, and it's kind of Fort Stewart's kind of weird because it's like you go out.
Romania. Mm-hmm. All right, so if your wallet hits the ground in Romania, what hits it first, germs or Romanian?
Jesus Christ!
Fucking Christ, man.
You know what they call those lock boxes they have for mail and shit. Like you go up with a key and open it and get your mail out. You know what they call that in Romania?
Free stuff.
An advent calendar.
My Romanian followers are like, this is not funny.
That's all right, your AKs are shit.
Ryan's like, what did I get myself into?
My mom is not going to be able to watch this.
You were in the infantry. This might interest you.
Okay.
I did a video with Demolition Ranch today.
Okay.
And he let me pick the topic, and I wanted to answer the age-old meme question. Are you familiar with the meme of like where you're grading different calibers, and 50 cal is for when there's a bad guy hiding behind the fridge at your neighbor's house?
Okay.
I wanted to know the smallest caliber that you could actually do that with. So we actually did shoot through a house, through a fridge, into a ballistic gel torso with different calibers to find out which one it was. Wow. 22 penetrated much further than I thought it would. It made it went through an exterior wall, through the back of the fridge, and dented the fridge door.
Were you shooting through a wall and then space 30 feet in between?
No.
That's the big one. That is the big one.
22 has probably killed more people than any other freaking caliber.
Because the gangbangers can't afford the big ones.
Or it's like, it's just a 22. I knew a guy, this is a buddy of mine, who his sister was like this. That like her ex-husband was banging on the door, let me in, and she took a 22 rifle and said, if you come in here, I'm gonna shoot you. And he broke in through the door and she shot him, hit him right in the chest, and he fell back on the railing, and he's lying there, and he takes out his cigarette, lights a cigarette, and the police come. He's there smoking his last cigarette. The police come up to him, there's a hole right in the sternum. Police come up there, the bullet's sticking out, and they just pop it out, put a Band-Aid on it, take him to the police station. And what's funny is that
as if that wasn't hilarious.
A murder story.
So my friend killed this guy, right?
My sister.
His sister, sorry.
No,
domestic violence, am I right?
My friend's sister met another guy, and this guy heard that story, and so he bought her a real gun, like a 38.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say he bought a bigger gun.
Which to me, I would think is like, you might be signing your own death warrant here. She already shot, one boyfriend. Eventually, she broke up with him. And he said these two became friends. The two ex-boyfriends became friends, and they would hang out around town, like at the bars, and just talk about her. I don't know what it is about that girl, but it must be something. I wish, if she was still single, I'd try to get her number. There must be something about this person.
Not your sister, then.
No, not my sister.
Okay.
I thought it was
I was
friends,
saying,
too.
I was like, wait, where's this guy?
Is your sister's friend or your?
No, Army buddy's friend.
Oh,
okay. Sorry about that.
I heard the same thing.
Army buddy's sister. Yeah.
There we go.
got it,
Okay,
yeah.
I was like, you can get your sister's number. Ask your mom.
Jesus. I don't. This is not that kind of video.
I was so confused a second. I was like, wait, what?
What are you doing, Step Sergeant?
But 9mm
That
actually
would be a
did
good T-shirt. What are you doing, Step Sergeant?
We had one yesterday. Fuck,
Yeah,
what was it?
the donkey.
Step Nomad?
Yeah.
Step Nomad. Was it Step Nomad?
When we were talking about the Mongol Empire.
Oh, God. Yeah, yes, it was.
Step Nomad.
Yo, speaking of nomads.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
Nick,
sorry.
On the
Guns.
fridge.
Yeah, we got to finish this story.
9mm
We're
punch
so
through
good.
the fridge, 5.56 punch through the fridge. Then we were going to do 50 cal, obviously, but I wanted to do 8.6 blackout because
Terrifying.
Are you familiar? I'll let Brandon explain the ballistics of this
so
to you.
amazing. It's
So
my favorite.
8.6 blackout is like basically the equivalent of 300 blackout, but for a 308 instead of 5.56. Jesus. So they take 308 and they neck it up to 8.6 millimeter. They beef up the cartridge, or they beef up the projectile.
You hunting dinosaurs in this thing? Like,
Well, the idea is that
just wait.
you have the energy of 308, but you have it subsonic, so it's below 1,000 feet per second. So it it doesn't have the pop at the ear. If you could suppress it pretty easy and stuff.
And
like
it's
that.
a 1 to 3 twist rate versus your standard ARs are like 1.8 to 112. I mean,
So
when they came out, they
these
were
are numbers.
116.
So
rate.
Kevin Brittingham basically developed a way that you were able to keep energy, because the people are worried about, okay, energy is really what causes damage with the projectile. So so velocity is the way you do that. So the E equals MC squared, that C being the squared part, that's the part that matters the most. The energy that is behind it, not just the mass. So what they ended up doing is they increased the twist rate, because if you can't accelerate it past 1,000 feet per second, because then you go supersonic and it gets loud and it defeats the fucking purpose. So what they did was they accelerated the rate of twist. And so they had, instead of linear velocity, they had centrifugal velocity, I guess what you call that. And so they basically just keep energy in rotational energy instead of linear energy. And so they were able to make it a fucking very heavy hitting cartridge while still not breaking the sound barrier.
Think of a drill bit.
It penetrates like a drill.
And it will, Grantham actually, Mike did a video on it, shows how hard it hits. Subsonic round, again, subsonic, this is less than 1,000 feet per second, hitting a ballistic dummy head at, I think it was like 200 or 100 yards, and the head, it was equivalent to a 12 gauge buckshot going off. It just fucking exploded.
Because it's also wider while it's delivering that energy, and it's just,
That
gnarly.
cavity it creates the second it hits and expands, it just opens up everything.
I have never heard of this cartridge.
It's terrifying.
It's developed by the same guy who did 300 blackout.
Yeah. Kevin's kind of a smart.
He's kind of a smart guy.
He knows his guns.
He knows a thing or two because he's seen a thing or two.
Yeah, he hunts water buffalo with subsonics.
But so the 8.6
Yeah.
went through the wall, through the fridge, and then it started keyholing, and it keyholed through 4 more walls and the kitchen cabinets out the other side of the house.
Did you build a house? What range were you on where you did this?
No, they had a range, but they just shot through the neighbor's house. They knew roughly where the fridge was.
Jesus Christ.
Here's actually where I think that it would definitely be different if there was stuff in the fridge.
The 50 cal was also keyholing, but that was the wall after the fridge.
50 BMG
Yeah,
you're
50
talking about?
BMG keyholed all the way through the house also.
That's terrifying.
Most people don't know this, but modern fridges aren't really thick.
Yeah, I'll buy that. It's probably all just.
I just got a 4570. I'm happy with that. It's fun.
What do you
I
have?
like it. Henry. Yeah, good old liver action 4570. The gold boy, got the brass butt plate. Lets me know after about a box and a half of shells.
Yeah.
Feels real good.
They weren't designed with compensators. That is just like a cut-off barrel, and you're like, oh yeah, man, the recoil's real nice on this thing.
It's like a 12 gauge that's angry at you. Like that's what the recoil feels
12
like.
gauge is way slower.
Yeah.
That one's got a little bit of ass to it.
Yeah, I got that thing. I was like, I really wanted one, and then I took it to the range once. I was like, that's cool. I'll make it like a display or something, or just like for rapscallions that break into my fucking house,
Wake up everyone.
just in case.
The rapscallion gun?
Yeah, the rapscallion gun. That's what the
Fighting
fucking
pirates.
I don't fucking know. We're using rapscallions today, okay, boys?
Next to your loaded blunderbuss.
Home defense shot with silverware from a blunderbuss.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like the founding fathers.
What was this? Okay, so almost every round went through everything.
Almost damn near. And then, after we found out that 9mm and 5.56 would go through a wall, through a fridge, and into a ballistics gel dummy, then we moved the ballistics gel dummy into the bathroom shower while still shooting through the fridge into the shower.
Where the fuck were you shooting? Was it in one of the abandoned houses?
Yeah,
at
so
the
he has
ranch?
he bought an abandoned resort from
Probably
the
should have
1990s.
started with that. But go
No, it's
on.
fine. So he has 2 like
went to
abandoned
Matt's
houses.
neighbor's
The
house.
Motel 6.
They were they're like full of mold. Like you can't. There's nothing you can do. They just need to be torn down. So he's like, well, I mean, let's shoot bullets through it. I mean, pretty unique opportunity. But so we had 50 cal rounds hit a ballistics gel dummy while the rounds were keyholing. Those were terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's how you shred
It
humans.
was a dude had a new armpit. It was bad.
That's
you could see.
So this
you can
is
see
where, like,
the round do this through his torso.
Geneva's not a big fan. Like,
No.
big no. That's why the M16s got reworked, because they would start tumbling, right? If I remember, back in
yes.
the like originally,
Yes.
You talking about the original Mattel
Yes.
models?
like the shit ones, they would
Mattel
start
made the original.
tumbling.
Mattel, I think that's an urban legend from what I was told.
Really? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
because Mattel made they made
Hot Wheels.
a toy
Yeah.
around the same time.
Okay.
And people thought that
Which
it was...
it's not a fucking far stretch to say that like an American toy company or something like that would be
There's a-
making it.
I mean,
was the-
Brunswick, the bowling ball company, made the gun grips for my 1911.
I mean, the same guys who make your washer and dryer make the fucking GAO 19, so like it's not really a huge stretch.
I'm joking.
GE. They make things that spin and clean. That's what they do.
Both the same model, the same commercial.
Same fucking motor on it.
I need to clean my clothes. Cool. I also need to destroy a fucking convoy of Taliban. You're never gonna believe this.
We have you covered.
Because the bullets would yaw like.
Yeah, so like I've interviewed quite a few Vietnam era like infantrymen that were running point, and like all of them when the M16s came out fucking hated them, and most of them, all of them except for one, I think, had their wife or their parents mail their either Mossberg 500 or their Remington 590 from home, and they went around through Vietnam with a fucking shotgun.
So I was actually just talking about this a little bit earlier about the early M16s and like one of the things that did it, and you know, Wendigoon did a pretty good video on that. Like missed a couple things, but like he did fucking a great analytical take on what actually happened there with the military industrial complex, and like really just like the people, the powers that be, not wanting to move to the M16 and ended up sabotaging it. Like the cartridges that they were using at the time, the manufacturer, like Eugene Stoner, basically saying like, hey, you should never ever use this type of powder for the cartridge for the 5.56 that you're using for this. And they were like, yeah, but we have a shitload of that powder and it would be a lot cheaper. And they already hated that, and they wanted to keep the M14 or whatever it was. So they used a lot of that powder, and it caused a shitload of issues, a load of jamming issues with the M16. So it wasn't exactly a problem with the platform. It was a problem with the ammunition that they were given in tandem with the platform.
Without cleaning kits also.
I think it had to have been part of the environment too, because like even in your Trump video where we do the ear shot, like if everybody's watching the ear, but if you go back and watch Brandon's video in its entirety, you can actually watch as soon as it clips the ear, it clips that much ballistics gel, and within 6 inches the round completely keyholes.
I will also say this that is a problem with the distance that we were shooting it from.
Okay.
Because you have an issue where, sorry, this is like you're touching my now.
Oh, I'm loving it. Go for it.
Once you get past a certain, if you're within a certain distance of the round leaving the muzzle, certain rounds are worse.
Still
like honestly,
accelerating.
5.45, one of the worst. If you actually watch it fucking leaving the barrel, like in the Larry Vickers videos, it takes a while for the, I guess, rotation of the round to actually catch and make the rifle round go straight.
Okay.
And the tail of the round will actually fish around for a bit before it locks in. So it's because we were so close. Because we ended up wanting to replicate it dead on where it was hit and not, blow the fucking head off the dummy.
But I mean, that could also make sense from like those Vietnam guys' perspective, because if a dude's popping up from 20 feet away out of a bush and you're trying to shoot through brush, because one of them told me they hated the M16 because the bullets would ricochet off grass.
My point is
what he said. I'm not saying that's
There were
true.
dudes who were
but
in
it will-
Somalia
it
who
will
said
do that.
you had to shoot a guy 2 or 3 times to get their attention.
The
Because the rounds were going, it was
Straight
green
through.
tip.
So that
through.
will potentially be a problem, but the thing is, any rifle round, no matter 5.56, whatever, it will do that.
That's
You'll
great.
have a period where, like, basically, it's like, think of a Nerf football, where it takes a while to right itself.
We need to go back to 4570.
So the original was a 1 to 14 twist rate. So it would rotate every 14 inches. That's why we're saying with the 8.6, it's 1 to 3 twist rate. So you have like stabilizing well before it even escalates.
Every 3 inches, you're making a rotation.
Yeah. Versus 1 to 14, which is no wonder it was keyholing shit at that time, or tumbling, because those were 16 to 18 inch barrels. I'm guessing for the original
20.
out for the original M16.
Pretty sure it was 20, yeah.
So one rotation before it.
One and a third, yeah.
That's crazy.
We're back from the after show with something we forgot that was important.
That's our organic cut.
So,
Ryan,
Yes.
go ahead.
we have a superhero group that is like the Avengers, except that we're
Retarded.
yeah, that's a great word for it. Yeah, sure. We all have powers that are normal like superhero powers, but we have offsets that the group gets to choose that are, let's say, not safe for work.
Okay.
So we would like to ask you if you'd like to be a part of our superhero group. What power would you
Is there
choose?
any money in it for
No,
me?
we can give you the examples.
God,
So-
you are from
Wait, you
Raytheon.
haven't? You're on the
You
Avengers?
told me about the offenders, but I've never been asked to join.
Oh,
Fuck,
God, we're doing a double. Okay, so
I already
for
know your
example,
thing.
Eli's power.
I am Crime Cook. I can travel at the speed of light like the Flash. Unfortunately, I can't interact with objects for 5 minutes after doing that. So
He gets there and it just has to bear witness to whatever crime he wants to stop.
I can take notes in my head.
Ma'am, are you okay?
Man,
So,
fight
it's-
harder.
You have a superpower, but you also have a
Horrible
left.
offset that we determine. You get to pick the superpower. We get to pick the offset.
My
So-
superpower is I can find the clitoris.
You're gay.
Instant. Fuck, man, I can't top that. Oh, holy shit. Instantaneous.
Now, in all honesty, this is not a bad outcome, but we got to talk about this poop thing.
He got his real superpower. He doesn't have to fuck with the thermostat. That's what he really wanted.
Oh my god.
Holy shit, go on.
All right, Habitual.
We don't have to go on.
I am crying.
Shit, I don't even know where the fuck I'm. How can I top that? I can go back in time 5 minutes. Only exactly where I'm at.
I just need to recoup
Why
life.
are you giving yourself offsets?
I was like,
Pick a real superpower.
Okay, fine. I have the power of inconvenience. I can move your table 1 inch to the right to make you
That's
stub
an
your toe.
That's an
I can-
offset.
That's an offset.
Ah, come on,
Pick
fine.
a fucking superpower.
Fine.
You can
Laser
go back-
vision. How about that?
You're gay.
Fuck, man. That's just everybody's from now on.
That
This
was
is like
the weirdest proposal in the history of the world.
fuck.
They shook on it and everything.
Oh man.
I mean, they're good. They got it. We don't even need offsets now.
Fuck.
Oh, welcome to Unsubscribe.
That was the funnest Offenders bit we've ever done.
Oh my god.
You were
One
Fort
and a half,
Lewis?
Yes, sir.
Strikers?
Yes, sir.
Eli's got some fun striker stories.
I've smashed my face on a striker. We ran it through a building striker. We've done a lot with strikers.
Have I ever told you what 19 kilos, as I used to be one, refer to the MGS striker as?
I was in the
gun
first
system?
The
MGS. I was in the first MGS striker, or next to the first round ever fired in Iraq with the MGS striker. Next,
One of the first kills in
with
Iraq.
an MGS striker. Like
Yeah.
right here was the ticker. Ennis, my buddy, we were in a firefight. I got hit. Gun went off. Ennis thought it was an IED.
It's the
He was like,
reason.
that IED was crazy. I was like, that was the striker. And then Sergeant Cope, shout out to you. He was like, you good? We're like, yeah. What the fuck did you just shoot? That was a dude.
It's the reason I ask you a question at brunch and you say, what?
Well, because this is the thing. When I was a 19 kilo, the only reason I couldn't stay 19 kilo is because I was Kilo 4 trained and not Romeo 4. Now, the difference is Kilo 4 was on the SEPs, the System Enhanced Package, the more modern tanks. And Romeo 4, they were trained on the MGS Striker. And back then, President Obama was like, we don't need tanks anymore and whatever. And so,
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah. And so all the guys went over to MGS and I was like, cool, I want to re-enlist. They're like, pick a new job or get out. And I was like, I like missiles. And fucking that's where they sent me. Yeah.
Yeah, we used them to literally if there was debris to get out on senators. When we were exfilling on that mission, there was debris, so we couldn't get out because the Iraqis put like debris, so we couldn't exfil onto the main MSR. What we do? Sergeant comes up. I got MGS.
I can undebris that real quick.
Yeah, really fucking quick.
Realistically,
Okay, drive through.
realistically, like artillery was one of those positions though that got like a buff by God or technology or whatever, because it's like, all right, we're just gonna sit back here and just lob a bunch of shit at the enemy. As soon as we were like, yeah, computers can make us like hit it within like a toenail, everybody's like,
What is
This is way more terrifying.
Dude, I tell you right now, I have never met like a group of people in the military who love like eliminating humans as much as field artillery. Like, I'm just telling you, like it's so strange. They would like, I'd be in the smoke pit hanging out with these guys, and I talked to one of them. He was a 13 Juliet, so his job is he works in the FDC, like getting people, like getting them on target. And there was apparently some Taliban guy. He was
The
telling me
guy
about
doing
this.
math, right?
Yeah, he's the guy who
It's
does
literally
math.
like you ever seen the kids in China doing math on the abacus that isn't there? That's him. Be like, these degrees, get them.
I guess the way he was saying
he's
it,
calling in fucking stratagems like it's hell.
so he's telling me, he's
Ding, 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 ding. Woe be upon ye.
So he's telling me, he's like, there was some Taliban guy like popping out of a cave, shooting or whatever, and then getting back in the cave. And so they were like, hey, deal with this. And he's like, okay, I mean, I can one shot, no problem. And he's like,
deal with
okay.
it.
And he's like, all right. And he did the math, and he told them their deflection. I'm not using the right fucking words, FA guys. I'm sorry, I'm an air defender. And he's like, round out, and they fired, cool. And like 30 seconds go by, dude popped back out right on him, like at his feet. Good dude, 155, mind you. Like that was a 777 shot, and like
For one dude?
for one dude, because that's all they had, I guess, was 777s there. They didn't have 119ers, and so like everyone else in the talk was real quiet because they're watching this through like the raid camera, and he was just like, yeah, so proud of himself.
Literally like the buzzer beater in basketball.
Yeah, it's so strange.
Everybody else is horrified.
Yeah, they're just looking at it. You dropped a 155 on that guy? That was one dude.
I found a bullet.
I tell you,
That's a good day. When you get a bad guy, it's a good day. I was telling
FA guys, man.
him that I was on a date, and this girl said, how do you feel when you put a hellfire through somebody's windows? How do
She
I
did
feel?
not use those words.
Did she say hellfire?
I might be paraphrasing a little bit.
What was his name?
Wouldn't that be great though?
If you met a woman who knew about hellfires and didn't marry her, you're gay.
I will tell you this. The gay thing, when you think about it, how great would it be to go out on a date and talk about football?
Oh, man.
It's great. And then he would make fun of me for not having a boyfriend instead of not having a girlfriend,
I'm with it. It's just like the farts that throw me off.
You'd never have to worry about the thermostat.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, the only problem I can see is like the butt.
My problem is the guy.
Attached to the butt?
Yeah. I think it's what's attached to the butt.
It's all fun and games until it's anything regarding intimacy.
Hold on. Stay
Vaginas
with
are
me.
great, but how do we make them better? Let's add poop.
Hold on.
That's got to be a tough sell there.
Hold on.
You have no idea how much of a crowning achievement this is. Probably the worst
Crowning is a
sentence
good use.
ever said.
Crowning is a great use right there.
That is.
So, okay, you guys ever have so this is guy talk here, and it's being fucking filmed.
Trout with his Chinese food and his world's best ex-boyfriend shirt on.
Connor, what'd that girl you're talking to ask you yesterday in one text?
Sorry. What?
What was the text she sent you out of the blue? Tell her about what?
Oh, about Bohemian Grove.
Got a text. Tell me about Bohemian Grove. That was her opening to the conversation, which he's the conspiracy theory guy. So it was.
I'm listening.
Oh my God.
It was a hellfire. Do you not?
It wasn't the opening. We were talking about having 1,000 children whose neighbors were cousins.
What the fuck?
Tough.
Anyways,
Wait, names
so-
was cousins?
Whose neighbors were cousins?
Oh, neighbor. Okay.
So
I was so
Talking
good.
about it being fruitful and multiplying.
So
Yes. Okay. There we go.
Certainly not about vaginas being assholes.
okay. On that note, and this whole part's probably gonna have to get cut the fuck out. But anyway, so
A lot of it gets edited.
yeah, have you guys ever like had like guy talk with your buddies and you're just like you're playing video games, you're just shooting shit about whatever. You're like existential. You can like conspiracy theories and all sorts of shit. Somehow we ended up on the topic of like gay man sex. Okay, stay with me here. Stay with me. And I was playing video games. My wife heard this walking by, and I was like, you know, you ever take a poop and it feels really good? So I'd say like 50% of butt sex probably feels all right. And like she just looks at me. She's like, what the fuck?
And you don't have to worry about the thermostat.
The outstrokes.
It's a win-win here.
It's just the end that feels good.
There's way too many military people on this podcast right now. We found how many people it takes to make this game. Let's close this podcast
It was
out.
gay when we
Each other.
started.
Ooh, Eli! I'm a ghost.
What are you doing?
I'm here to tell you about GHOSTBED.
Is this an ad?
It might be an ad.
Why are you in my bedroom?
I don't know, scoot over, let's talk about it. Every Ghost mattress has a 20-year warranty. Some even have a 25-year warranty. And you can try them out for 101 nights, worry-free. If you don't like it, just send it back.
I don't like this.
No hard feelings. One of our favorite things about GHOSTBED is that it has cooling technology. So if you get hot at night, like we do down here in Texas, it's a lifesaver.
I'm uncomfortable.
But you're not hot, are you?
I'm uncomfortable.
But you're not hot, are you? GHOSTBED also offers bundles, so they have everything you need. Just choose one of their 4 mattresses and pick your bundle.
Why are you doing this to me?
4 mattresses!
4?
Right now, GHOSTBED is offering 50% off all their products. Just use code UNSUBSCRIBE at checkout or go to ghostbed.com/unsubscribe.
Please buy some ghostbed.com/unsubscribe.
I'll be under your bed if you need me.
You got what? You got 311? You're 11 Bravo?
That's a 68 whiskey.
He's honorary. It's fine. 68 whiskey. It's fair.
You got 211 Bravos. And
Hey, medics have one job that I could
That's
never
it,
fucking
medic,
do,
right?
and that's not sticking a thermostat in someone's man or in another man's, and that's triage. I could never
Done
do
it.
that shit.
you really do
Fuck
that?
that. Oh,
You
yeah.
really put IVs up a guy's rear?
The silver bullet.
I've done that once. I thought you were talking about rectal thermometers.
Yeah,
I've done
rectal
that
thermometers.
too.
That happens a lot.
It's usually reserved for, so like when somebody's like malingering. So like we've had people that would like, I'm going to come to the aid station 4 days in a row because I think I have heat stroke at 8 a.m. Over and over and over again so he can get out of doing his job for 4 days straight. And it's like, all right, well, here's a note. Hand that to the medics. And like they already know, but it's just like, it's time. We're going to get the core temperature for sure. And we'll see if you come back tomorrow with fucking heat stroke.
So my girl's a medic. So like the one time I had a actually like legit medical issue at some point, and like my blood sugar fucking tanked, like to where like if it wasn't for her, I would have been face down on my kitchen tile, like bad off. And she fucking like ends up straddling me on the couch, rubbing cake icing in my gums. I was like, all right, so if this doesn't work for you, and if this doesn't, end up stopping you from passing out, the next is I have to take that same fucking finger of cake icing and shoving it where the sun doesn't shine. So you better stay awake. And I have never been more motivated in my entire life.
Brandon's like,
Like, I will pretend like I'm okay.
I will. This is when I really understood autism and sensories and taste. Ryden he fucking hates medicine. We had to take him to the doctor one time. He had to have a rectal medicine inserted. And then we were home. He got sick again. This is like 6 months later, a year later.
This is your son?
Yeah. And I remember I'm like, you gotta go to the doctor, buddy. You're sick. She's like, no. I was like, we gotta take medicine. He's like, no. I was like, okay, it's medicine or it's the butt like the rectal medicine. He's like, okay. I was like, what? I was like, okay, wait, hold. You want to do the rectum medicine versus normal? He's like, that's fine. I was like, okay, this is autism for a whole. Really, guy, my guy. You want to do that? I was like, it's a pill. Are you sure? He's like, all right, it's fine.
Freaking send it!
Yeah, I was like, now I understand autism to a new level. He'll do that over regular medicine.
Never not call it a big deal for you. Never mind. I'm I'm sorry.
That is a big deal. Got it, bro.
You were just overreacting.
I think the word is gung ho.
Yeah, that's. Well, this is the thing. So you're with a girl who's is she a nurse, medic, or
Yeah, flight paramedic.
Okay, flight paramedic, and then you were a medic, and you got a Purple Heart, so you've been around medics. You've been around medics. And
I'm
medics,
a CLS qualified.
Yeah, medics have.
I know everything.
They have 2 speeds, and like I've never experienced the second one, but the first one is, oh, you're being a baby. Like no matter what it is, like you could have something as long as they know it's not life threatening. You have yet to yourself up bad enough for them to give a shit. They're like a smack. You got like fat tissue showing on your arm. They're like, yeah, you're a bitch. Go get some duct tape. You're fine, right? And then there's the one where they're like trying to act cool. They're like, you're gonna be fine, dude. You're gonna be fine. Like I never want to look a medic in the eye. They're like, you're gonna be fine, man. I promise. Yep. That's when shit has gone downhill real fast.
There's a real comforting factor to you're being a bitch.
Yeah, like this.
That's the second part of the training kicking in that you're about to die.
Yeah. Like,
and they're like, make sure you tell them it's cool. And you're like, it's cool, man. You're not going to die.
You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay.
Like, pulling tourniquets out, applying pressure.
Oh, man.
I will tell you, tourniquets.
Holy shit.
Yeah, my arm was cut off and reattached.
Yeah, it was. Gee,
Next time, start with what?
That is a scar.
You know the whole story?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
No, start at the end.
We already fucking did. 1994. Private McBeth, joins the Army infantry.
That happened in the military?
No. This actually happened, but it goes all the way back. All right, so I had this drill sergeant Riggs. And he used to talk like this. Like when I became an instructor, I wanted to get a voice modification. So when I talked to my pilots, I would talk like this. That's exactly how he would talk. And he was like a god. He had been in Panama. He had been in Grenada. He hadn't been in the first Gulf War. He was on the trail then. Or he was a drill sergeant. But this guy
revered the guy.
We revered this dude. He was like a walking god of infantry knowledge. And I remember one day someone had an ND, a negligent discharge.
In basic?
In basic, and it was actually it was actually in the Starship. And did you go to Harmony Church or Sand Hill?
Sand Hill.
So I was at Sand Hill.
Wait, there's a Harmony Church?
Yeah, it's like the older.
Okay, yeah, they didn't have that. That's okay.
Yeah. So we had to when you put away your weapons, you pull the trigger. Well, this one guy, I guess he wasn't inspected right.
Oh, so it wasn't like an ND. He did it into the fucking.
Well, he did
the designated area
vertically.
Oh shit. Okay.
And then
as a private, you were that's
a problem. And it was a problem with the drill sergeant.
Like a shoot pit or
he goes in like Shang Tsung comes out. He's like, "Yo, soul is mine," and then the private
exactly. These drill sergeants, they smoked us. I want to say for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
And at some point, I was like, "I'm gonna quit. I don't want to play Army anymore. I'm gonna quit." And I don't know if he was saying it to everyone, but he said it to me. Now this guy, by the way, Drill Sergeant Riggs, he used to make me carry around a book of Shakespeare's plays. I go, Mac, we would be waiting a chow, standing parade dress, and Macbeth, where Macbeth at? I wants to hear a sonnet. And I have to run out with my little book and read,
So yes,
do the voices, Macbeth.
So yes, it was blackface.
Macbeth, you so funny. I don't like white people. I make an exception for you.
We're definitely on blackface.
So this guy,
Sergeant Johnson.
So
that's what I'm picturing right now. I'm picturing the full-on UNSC armor.
I was on my bag. I was doing flutter kicks, and you fly pretty good for a brick. This guy, he puts his round brown like 1 millimeter in front of my face. He goes, "Private Macbeth, never give up the will to live." And I was like, okay. And I at that moment, I didn't give up the will. I decided I was gonna push through this, and I did. I graduated from basic, and eventually I became an instructor. I got to teach soldiers, which was one of the most rewarding moments of my career. Now the funny thing came when I got out, and I did triathlon. I don't look it. They call me an iron marshmallow. Right? I don't look it, but I do triathlons. I do marathons.
Who's they?
Everybody wasn't me.
My wife.
God, wouldn't that be great? Just conjure her for me. I can't even get a freaking date, right? It's tough being a smoker and a gun owner in the Washington, D.C.
Well, you
area.
let the one
believe
go
me.
who asked if you know how you felt after tossing a hellfire.
So I was riding my bike, right? And I'm riding, and it was 5:30 in the morning. And I take a turn. I take it a little too fast, and I realize that I'm about to hit a light pole. This is in like Odenton, Maryland. I'm like way far out. And I'm about to hit this concrete light pole, and at the last moment, I do this, you know? And the light pole cuts my arm off. Now, it's still,
Like, is it off?
it's hanging by a couple of tubes.
Dude,
or
when you
whatever.
say did you
not
see
great.
the scar? Like, look how fucking.
Yeah, and I can only move my arm like that. So I remember I'm sitting there,
That's a
and I'm
fucking-
thinking to
hold it up
myself,
to that
Do you have like
camera.
finger, like mobility and shit? Like,
I went to physical therapy for a year.
Like my gunshot looks like I don't know. I got a bad mosquito bite.
No,
It looks like a fucking.
yeah, this was not from combat, but I actually went to physical therapy and I did everything they told me to do, which is why I probably still have most of my. I can't, like when I try to pour M&Ms in his hand, they all fall out. I'm like, oh crap, I can't do that. Right.
That's
So
fucking
you
wild,
wrecked in a
though.
bike and that
Yeah.
fucking Jesus.
A bicycle.
Bicycle, yeah, tri-bike. I was going 18 miles an hour.
And that's why I live off of my firm belief that if it doesn't have tits or a motor, I don't ride it.
Good idea. So I'm lying there and I'm like,
You're gonna hate the second part of the story.
I'm like,
how many seconds do I have to put on a tourniquet? I got 15 seconds to put
yeah,
on a
max.
tourniquet.
Yeah.
And so I have my
I
bike
want to hit a
jacket.
guardrail at 89 miles an hour like God intended.
I got one of my bike wrenches and I tightened down my bike jacket.
Holy fuck.
They don't tell you how much it hurts.
Oh, dude, yeah, ours did. Ours was like, it's gonna be terrible. Turn until the bright red blood stops.
It hurt. It was the worst pain of my life. And I remember I picked up my arm and I looked at my phone and I'm like, all right, I don't have the signal.
When was this?
About 2019.
Damn,
Oh,
so
God
this is
damn.
recent.
This is-
Holy
yeah.
shit.
And so I'm looking at my phone. I don't have a signal. I'm out too far. I'm thinking, all right, I can stay here, or I can. If I stay here, I'm going to die. Like maybe a freaking jogger will come by, another cyclist. But if I stay here, I'm going to die. And I remember my drill sergeant, never give up the will to live. And as I pick up my arm and I start walking. And I start walking down that trail until eventually I get a signal and I call 911 and they're like, well, we don't know where you are. You need to keep walking. They actually sent an ambulance and I had to walk to the ambulance. They didn't even come out with a little thing. They made me get on. And then they hit every freaking bump on the way there.
Did you ever reconnect with that drill sergeant?
I did not. No.
If you're watching
No,
this,
they're probably
Drill Sergeant
What's his name? Drill Sergeant.
Drill Sergeant Ricks.
Drill Sergeant Ricks, if you're watching this, he never lost a wheel.
Or if you know a
Yeah.
drill sergeant that was black and had that voice.
They take
Comment below.
They take me to the hospital, and it's a teaching hospital. So they
boy.
they send these nurses in, like these student nurses in, and like some of them are coming, and I guess they don't get a lot of amputations there, so they want to show them what it looks like.
like
And I'm
Afghanistan,
lying in
you
bed,
find
right? And some of the nurses come in, they're like, "Ooh, turn around." This one nurse comes in and goes, "How'd this happen?" I told her, and she goes, "I wouldn't have been able to do that." And I said, "Yeah, you would have. Never give up the will to live."
She's like, this guy
Turns around like he's mentally ill too.
That guy's racist.
Therapist on aisle 9.
We're going to send mental health down here and the doctor to fix that arm. Don't worry, we got you.
More surprised just that fucking scar is gnarly.
Yeah, I mean, it was. You should have seen it. I can show you the X-rays. I look like the Terminator.
I want normal.
I just want you like holding the skull, but it's a tibula.
I can show you the most
We
of my
can't show
left
this.
arm.
I know. I would like put it up on the screen, Chase, and blur it out so you just see like
Most of my
Skin
left
color
arm is
red.
metal.
I don't
I am
even-
like the Terminator.
I don't even, Eli, where did you get shot? I don't even know where.
like-
Oh,
mine was like the IEDs did more. They shook my brain more than the bullet, because the bullet grazed off it bounced off the wall. It rode down the wall, so it lost a lot of the kinetic energy.
Was
I
it
just
like a
remember
grazing wound or like?
No,
was
it hit and then barely went in, stopped, and then I just had a massive bruise that wrapped all the way
Did it
around.
hurt?
Because the next day I went to the wrong aid station, Did not get any time off.
You didn't-
was
yeah.
on a mission the next day.
The most army shit I've ever heard in my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah,
I
and
went to
then-
the wrong hospital after I was shot, so I didn't get a day off.
Yeah.
So Ennis sat down on the striker. Ennis climbed over me. He put his hand right down on my leg to climb over me. I was like, ah! He's like, oh shit, sorry. And then it was supposed to be an
so he
easy
knew.
mission. Oh yeah, Ennis
Oh,
knew I got
God.
shot. He just forgot it was in that leg. Then it was like, hey, we're not, dude, we just lost 2 dudes and a team got sent back. We won't go on missions. An hour later, we got a mission. It's going to be easy. I go,
Yeah, we got to do it, guys.
Yeah.
I used to have a commander that was like that. I'm going to go there. I'm going to fight for us. I'm going to go to battalion. This is BS, Bravo Company. This is BS. And then an hour later, it comes back. Well, Bravo Company, we got to do it.
We're Bravo Company. Literally, we're Bravo Company. So
That
like,
sounds
hey.
like the most like generation kill shit ever.
Yeah, it's our Bravo Company. And then ran up to the mission.
Roman standards.
It's an easy mission. No one's there. I was like, okay, I'll lead it. I was leading the squad. And then a machine gun goes off. I'm like, fuck, I'm in a field. So I like pivot around the house. Everyone follows. Like, what the f-? I was like, hey, what the fuck is going on? And then Holly peeks out. He's like, hey, sorry, that was us. We had a breach with the 249. I'm like, why the f-? Did no one... My heart was already like peaking.
We had to breach with the 249.
Yeah, I don't know why they had to breach with that.
For reasons.
I tell you right now, we had this guy.
I look back on it like, it just made sense at
We
the
had
time.
this guy
The
face.
construction standards aren't great. A foot works.
Yeah, we had this guy. You say what you want about the 249. We had this guy Face, not like Face from the A Team. On his Texas ID, he looked like Leatherface. He's the ugliest motherfucker you ever meet, but I love Face. His name is James Haynes.
Leatherface from Texas.
I'm
huh?
telling you, he's awesome, dude. And he took his gangster grip for his saw and put it on the side like a Tommy gun, and then fucking wolf hooked it to his shoulder. And that dude hip fired like a G. Dude, Face was the shit. I loved Face, man. He was a good dude.
Everybody
still
either
around.
has like on the 249. Everybody either has like a horror story or they loved it.
Yeah.
There is no in between. And
Yeah.
I think it all like from what I've heard, it all depends on your armor.
Yeah.
Like whoever took care of it. Like if you replaced the springs, you replaced everything. Like it ran great. But if you just fucking let it ride for 20,000 rounds, you're fucked.
I had this other saw gunner. He's part of the reason I'm deaf. Marlon P. Makoko. He's a little Filipino kid. Best. I could tell him, hey, Corporal, you're a fucking Makoko. Chew through that door, Roger Corporal. And he wouldn't even fucking question it. He would just go. Like, best soldier I ever had, man. And Coco, he kept that saw, like, immaculate. It doesn't matter if he didn't fire a single round. Like, you could eat out of that saw. It was immaculate. And then that little son of a bitch, he cleaned the 50 cal on my truck one day. And it was, like, perfectly clean. And I was like, Coco, what are you doing? He's like, I clean the 50, Sergeant. I was like, no, you don't clean the 50 that way, man. No, what are you doing? So I was like,
Washing
took the
your
truck.
coffee cup.
Yeah.
Don't fucking do that.
Did you just put flavor?
seasoned.
Did you just put my
It was seasoned. Yeah. It was seasoned.
Fuck, man.
Did you put it in the dishwasher? You freak.
So I had to explain it. I had to show Makoko, like, no, the 50 fires better dirty. Like the M2, she's better dirty. And then, like, so we took it out
She
to the
finds
range.
a groove.
Like, it's just a perfect spot. And that was back when the day where you still had to do the headspace and timing. Nowadays, it's just shove it in, twist, and it's done.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, they fixed. Yeah,
They
the
fixed
fixed
it.
headspace
Yeah,
and
it's the
timing.
A1
M3?
or model. Yeah,
Still the M2, but it's just the new barrel. I have no idea.
M2A.
Yeah.
The new, what the fuck? Our boys are nodding right now. They're like, yeah, it's just-
So our shit, like we just shove it in like 3 clicks to the right. All right, we're good.
Yeah, you know that's
it's walk it in, rotate out, look in the window, good to go. A lot of you don't know this. If you would have got a M2, if Civil War would have happened, you would have found a machine gun out in the battlefield, and you'd be like, cool. You would not have been able to make that thing run worth.
No, you'd be a single shot piece of shit
Crap.
if it didn't explode.
What the? Screw the
probably
barrel in.
wouldn't
I
have
did. It's not
exploded.
working.
Carlos Hathcock figured it out.
That's fair.
Carlos Hathcock.
Oh, you just did a video on that.
Oh yeah.
Did we talk
He's got
about
the
that?
world. He had the world record for the longest confirmed kill for a long time with an M2.
There's
What-
Brits
what
in
was the
Afghanistan, I
exact-
think. Yeah.
What was the exact
2.5
distance on
miles.
that?
It was 2,500 yards.
2,500. Jesus Christ.
Well, that's the thing. Like an M2,
So about a mile and a third.
everyone like in my chats and stuff, they'll ask me like, what is your favorite weapon? Like if it's not like a specific style of weapon that you're asking for, if it's like favorite pistol, favorite this, it's the M2 heavy barrel. Every single time it takes the reliability of an AK with the accuracy of a fucking sniper rifle. Like, and it's just, it's a bullet hose. I love it. I love everything about
Mark
it.
19 will jack somebody up. Total
The
jack
Mark
somebody up, too.
19, I have never seen a single. All right, I'm just going to go up on a soapbox
Please.
here.
Yeah.
Everyone gets tangent time. Go
Yeah.
on.
I've never seen a weapon system that has more issues than a Mark 19.
I hate the Mark. I could never get one more than like 3 shots out of it without having to fucking re-rack it. Every single time.
I've never
on that
seen-
thing, you got to take care of it.
Whale sperm in there and shit that they gave. Well, it's a different type of lubricant. I don't know what it's
I
called.
bet.
They're just like, put the whale sperm in there. I'm like, all right, I get this fucking tube of grease. I'm like wiping it around in there. I don't know what the fuck it's made of.
Because I have seen like people like sit there and have to kickstart this thing like it's a goddamn motorcycle from the 50s. Like
Yeah.
it's, and I get it's probably the same thing with the saw and whatnot. Like if you replace all the shit, you keep it like immaculately lubed and whatnot, and it doesn't have like a billion rounds through it. It's probably okay. But I have seen people have so many fucking
Ours
problems.
were so unreliable, we took them off our trucks and replaced them with 240s. So we had 250 cal trucks and 240 trucks. And I'll let the pig eat. I love the 240. It's a good solid weapon, mounted or dismounted. I love the 240.
You also can't do escalation of force with a Mark 19.
That's true. That's
There's one
shoot a warning
setting.
shot.
Again, the generation kill where like the warning shot bounces and fucking hits the guy in the head.
Oops. Fire a warning shot. This is a grenade launcher?
I hate this story. This is my story. With the warning shots and the
Yeah.
19. Yeah, I won't say who. What? They ran away. So this is 100% true. Also, Mark 19 stores. Love you, buddy. He had one in round when we were clearing it. The weapon system was fucking up during clearing. So he's like,
You don't
"It's
say.
weird."
Imagine that.
And they tried to demote him until they actually found out it was the weapon platform, because he's like, hey, this is not fucking doing. Just cooked one off in Baghdad, and we're like, uh-oh.
No way, no.
Oh,
So they have, yeah.
sorry.
The 40 mils, a lot of them have a minimum arming distance. They don't have a maximum.
Exactly.
That shit
just
landed.
went way up, and then went
I mean, if it
somewhere we
landed
don't
somewhere
know.
soft, just hope a kid doesn't pick it up. I guess that's just what?
I mean, yeah, it's a great hope.
I found a golden goose egg. I'm sorry.
Some of those kids got really good at demining. The
telling
ones
you.
who didn't, well,
They were hopping around. Yeah, that's
Darwin.
fair. It's fucking.
Mark it on the FDCB2.
Playing Minesweeper as a child in America. How the fuck do I play this game on my dad's computer? Playing it in a different country. Whole different experience.
I tell you right now, so we lived right next to a minefield in Afghanistan. Like literally, you go out the gate of my cop, and like 100 yards away, minefield starts. We didn't know it was there. The 82nd, who we ripped out with, like didn't tell us it was there until we were driving one day through this big open
Where's
area. What's that?
Where is this?
Malajad, Afghanistan.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Chicago.
And yeah, Chicago. No, and we didn't know it was there until like we were driving along, and I looked out the window and I saw the red side of about 4 rocks. That's how they mark them there. The little Afghans will take a rock, they'll paint one side red, one side white, and they're like, okay, don't go on the red side. And we were on the red side. So that's how we figured out it was there. And
Jesus Christ.
I met like in that
One of
minefield.
the reason why Burma's never won the Olympics for soccer.
That's it. Jesus Christ. Fuck. And like that, we're canceled.
That was the one.
Yeah, that was the one. So
I like Nick gets this look in his face.
Good.
I met.
Sorry, I think of things and I say them.
I met 2 Afghans out by that minefield. One of them was a straight up American capitalist. Like I would have imported that man into the United States and made him a citizen, because like we kept on hearing like explosions like 2 or 3 times a day, and we're like, what the fuck? And we go like way out there. There's a road that you could get through the minefield, and on the far side, there's some dude digging in the mountain, and he would like dig as far as he could, and then go dig up a landmine, put it in there, and shoot it until it exploded to get further. He was pulling gems and shit out.
I think
was
that's
like,
called stimulating the local economy.
I couldn't even be mad at this guy. I was like, don't dig in the minefield. Like I had no one knew what the fuck we were supposed to tell this dude. And the other one, we saw this guy on the raid camera. He was out there like digging around, like looking for a landmine. We're like, all right, let's go talk to this dude, figure out what he's looking for.
When you say raid camera,
so there's a camera on a giant pole that sticks up like 50, 60 feet in the air, and you can like zoom in anywhere around your cop. Yeah, we call them raid cameras. Yeah. And so saw this guy cruise on out there. We're like, hey man, what are you doing? And to this day, I don't know what the disagreement was, but he was like, I do not like my neighbor, so I take landmine, put it in front of his house. Like that's like, it was fucking makes perfect sense. Carry on. What are you doing? I had no idea what the fuck to do.
Let him go.
I love in the United States, you could not waterboard that out of somebody.
It's just like, I got no problem with you. My neighbor, fuck that guy.
They are so like that, though.
Yeah, that's the...
100%.
Yeah.
That is...
Like,
I used
death
to have,
is no big deal over there. It's strange, man.
I had I don't know how much I should say about this, but somebody that I used to know back in the day, like he had sent a video at some point where he was Lebanese.
Okay.
And he had sent a video of him firing a PKM into his neighboring village.
Jesus.
Just somebody I had talked to because I was curious about, culture and things. They had certain like weapon systems that like we don't have access to here.
Oh, you've told this story.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, okay. So it's a guy that I was talking to. He's like, yeah, this is a video of me shooting a PKM into my neighboring village. I'm like, oh God, you're serious. And I'm like, what the fuck happened there? And he's like, oh no, it's all good. After we did this, they shot back at us, we shot back at them, and then they decided to declare peace by offering our village another PKM. This was all over a goat.
Yeah.
And they were just like, the elders shook hands and it was done. Like, wow.
Holy fuck. That part of the world, man, is so just strange. Like the way they are about just murdering each other. I don't know if you've ever...
ancient civilization used to handle
it's like
shit.
If ancient civilizations found
Modern.
alien technology.
Yeah.
Oh, it is so dope. It is dope.
Dude, it's that part of the world is just so like people like, well, why do they want to kill each other? Fucking different tribe, different hairstyle, slightly browner. I do like pick your fucking poison, man. Like they just want to kill each other. You're part of this, I'm part of this. Like there was these people that rolled through. By the way, Eli, you were infantry. Actually, you were infantry as well. Has anyone ever properly taught you how to breach and clear a tent? It's because there's no fucking doctrine on it, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, what's that?
Mark 19.
I was going to say flashbang through the opening, see where the bodies are. And
I was platoon sergeant, section sergeant. I ain't getting out of the truck. I say, private, clear that tent. That's how I clear it.
Because there's these, there's nomads.
you see the silhouette of an AK from the flashbang. Like,
That's the
cool.
one. But no, so there was these, they're nomads and they live in Afghanistan. They're literally called coochies. That's a real thing. I'm not making that up, not making fun of a culture. They're called coochies. And they, there was an American that was pulling security, kneeled next to a power box, and the power box blew up. It was full of metal balls, ball bearings, and it killed him. Took his head right off. Right, sorry for that guy. Like that was fucked up. It's war. And then like a week later, we found some little kid playing with ball bearings, and we're like, "Hey there, little guy, where did you get those?" And he's like, "My dad has a whole bunch of them." Where's your dad live at? Right.
Meanwhile, he's picking them out.
So he's taking, and it was one of the coochies living there in a little nomad village, and like we didn't know how to breach and clear a tent, so we like all got on one side and like took knives and like cut it open and like peeked inside and fucking like we didn't know what to do.
The most horror movie way possible. We cut open the tent.
Why don't you try knocking?
I like fucking.
You ever tried to knock on a tent? It's
I
not
am
very
so
loud.
glad these games of Crossfire finally come in home. They're just playing Crossfire.
But yeah,
Get Americans cutting open a tent, scaring the shit out of them.
But we found like a big old bag of ball bearings there, like 200 or 300 of them, and then we found some like IED like wire making and stuff material, and we are just like, yep, this is the guy. So like we hauled him off, and next day Coochie Village gone. Like the tents were just packed up, and they're like, fuck this place, and they rolled out. Like they just left. Yeah,
Nomad people, that's literally what they'll do.
Yeah, it was wild, man.
God damn.
Yeah.
Sucks to be a gypsy in a place we don't like.
So with the Carlos Hathcock shot.
Oh
yes.
So
I forgot we went on tangents.
No,
sorry,
it's
it's
fine.
reeling it back in.
Carlos Hathcock has 93 confirmed kills, like 400 probables, but he had this ridiculous standard because this was like the first scout sniper platoon in combat. So it had to be witnessed by his commanding officer for it to count as a confirmed kill. So that's why he has as many as he does. All of his
Because
confirmed
like one
kills,
of his homies was his command.
yeah,
officer.
so like he was best friends with Jim Land, the guy that was the first scout sniper instructor in 1960 or 1961, and he would go out on missions with him. So his only confirmed kills are from when he was on missions with Jim Land or when he was on Overwatch duty on Hill 55.
Which he did a lot
Which he
of
did a
kills.
lot of.
A lot.
And the Viet Cong would always just operate at night, and the Marines could go out and they could take anywhere in Vietnam. They could take it over. The problem was the Viet Cong just didn't give a shit about high ground. They were just trying to move logistically. So they would just like, cool, you guys take the hill. We're going to go through this low part at night and whatever. And over time, Hill 55 was a lot deadlier to people passing by because they had snipers, and then they're like, okay, well, we'll just stay extra far away. So they didn't have any guns with enough ass to reach out far enough. So Carlos Hathcock got some CBs and was like, hey, make a mount for my scope off my Winchester Model 70, and I'll just slap it onto a 50 cal, and then I'll just have to re-zero my gun every time I'm on Overwatch duty.
I love that he started with, fuck, I need a couple engineers.
Yeah, I need a couple of construction workers. So he mounts his scope to the 50 cal, and every time he does, he re-zeros it on the same rock. He's got this big-ass rock 2,500 yards out, and that's the rock that he zeroes it on. And he said he recorded like 3 kills around the same distance, but the one that was like seen by a commanding officer, the first one, he's on Overwatch duty, and a Viet Cong scout is whatever, and Carlos is following him. And he's like waiting. It's the max distance. It's all the way out there. So it's
on
like,
that rock.
I did the math ballistically. Even if he aims perfect, it's anywhere within a 6-foot circle. So like he can only get it so accurate, and then he's got to let Jesus take the wheel on
And
it.
that
He
is
can only get it so close.
With the best conditions on that weapon
Correct.
system.
Yeah.
The best ammo. Like your best
So, like,
case scenario
Even
is
then,
6
there's a
feet.
degree of luck, but he at least figured with the weapon, at least I can get him to fuck off if they're trying to.
And that's not full auto. That is like boom.
Yeah, single fire.
Boom. Like you're not boom, 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 boom. Okay, one of those is gonna hit.
Right.
Like it's
Yeah.
you got to be dialed.
So this scout is walking along, and Carlos is following him, waiting till he gets close enough, just to get it close enough to scare the guy off, because he's trying to, get eyes on him. And he's watching him. This poor fucking dude decides it'd be a really good spot to stop and pull out the binoculars on top of the rock that he zeroes the gun on every day. And he calls the commanding officer. I was like, come here. He's like, you see the big rock? Like, which one? The one with all the bullet marks on it. Oh, shit. Launches it. I also did the math. It would have been like 3.2 seconds.
Yep.
That's a
3 seconds after you fire a bullet's fucking forever.
It's a long time.
It's enough time for you to tell yourself, I missed. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. For sure. So he fires, and he's like, I missed. And this Viet Cong guy, right when he fires it, the Viet Cong dude stands up. And as soon as he stands up, catches it right in the side of the head. Oh, forever away.
Dude, that guy was looking at binos, which is even better because he would have seen a flash and be like, huh, that's weird. Huh, I wonder what he did.
He stood up and caught it.
And just gone.
Like the second, like he was deleted in reality and then just appeared in the afterlife, and the guys at the pearly gates were just laughing.
It's like the TikTok thing. It's like, I wonder what's.
Because when you
in my video, I had Fluck do an edit. The edit is an outfielder in baseball running and jumping and catching a ball as it's like going into the stands, but his mitt is a Viet Cong guy's mitt.
It doesn't take shooting at, I think, 2,000 yards the longest I've shot anything. When you hit steel at that time, it is a 5 to 6 second delay from pull of the trigger, watch round go out, wait, hear the ting.
When I was in
To
SPM,
be fair, that's not the distance. That's not the time it takes for the bullet to hit.
That's
the
the
time
sound.
it takes
Yes,
for you
exactly.
to hear. Because obviously, like light travels way faster than sound. And so,
it's
like
crazy.
To get confirmation, like audibly, it's
You just sit there and you're like, did I hit it? I don't know.
and you're like waiting, yeah. Because when I went through the designated marksman course, I only reached out to 1,000. But it's, I mean, you squeeze that trigger, you like, did it move? Like, I mean, because I only had a 10 power Leopold Mark IV. Like, I couldn't fuck.
Oh, wow.
1,000 yards is like
1,000 with 10 power.
He did,
Yeah, like
he
it's-
did this with 8 power.
Oh fuck me, dude. That's like. I don't even.
And a
that's like
fucking
shooting one of the
butterfly
grains
trigger,
out of
which
an
is-
old bay at 100 yards
Well,
away.
and
Like,
it's
that's
a
fucking-
butterfly trigger.
Yeah,
and that
like-
is not
Yeah.
the most. You're like,
Yeah,
Little
like,
mushy.
yeah, little mushy. You don't know where the break is. It's a machine gun trigger.
You're talking about 8 power. You just went from a 6-foot variable to a lot bigger.
Yeah, dude, that's. I imagine though that like with that 8 power, he could probably see fucking bullet trace there. Which the first time I saw bullet trace was so wild to me.
Oh, yeah,
right?
you see that
you can
real
see
quick.
like it's like the Matrix. Like you see it go up. So I bet like in that 8 power, if there was any wind or anything, I mean it's a 50 cal, so the wind's probably not going to affect it. I mean at that range, yeah, it will. But like I bet he watched that round come up and like just slowly come back down until old boy's grape got popped. Like that's fucking beautiful.
And he
That's-
just hit side of his head.
If he wouldn't have stood up, he would have been fine.
That's
Would have went
something I
right
would-
over the top of him.
I would love to see recreated.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, I know.
I recreated the through the scope shot to prove that was possible, and then we're going to recreate the 50 cal shot. We don't even need to because that's like the one thing he did that nobody disputes.
It's still a gang.
We're still going to do
shot.
it just to see if we can.
I want to see what the bullet does at 2,000 yards, like a 50 cal with that much energy.
Apparently enough.
That's, I mean,
Oh yeah, 100%. It's enough. That is a large round. When you're going up heavier, it's a little more, right, Brandon? A little heavier. I know when we did the shot for 2,000 yards, it was the 300 rum. We could have done a 338 Lapua, but 300 rum was a little more fascinating. Yeah, Remington Ultra Mag.
Okay. Oh, got it. Yeah.
It was a little more. It's a more difficult shot because it is a smaller round technically versus 338. That the wind and everything affects the bullet.
So
less.
I want to say 50 BMG is lethal out to like some stupid distance. It's like lethal to 3 miles or something like that, 3.5. There's a certain like metric you use for amount of energy delivered on target at a certain range that like is still determined as lethal according to U.S. military standards.
Do you guys think that
even if it was at 4 miles, the 50 BMG bullet's heavy enough, I wouldn't want somebody to overhand it at me.
Yeah, I guess.
That would still fucking hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Just winging it at you.
Like that's
700 grains of your bitch. Like,
it's a heavy ass round.
Well, I mean that new one, the new world record, I guess supposedly out of Ukraine. There's no video of it. They're confirming it themselves. It's like some crazy ungodly amount. It's like I want to say it's like 2.3 miles, but he did it with a 20 millimeter anti fucking light armor like gun, and I have no idea what kind of load he was using or anything like that.
Like those modified cords they're using, or what?
I have no idea.
A cord I think would either be 12. I think it's 12.7 with.
Okay,
you have one of those.
There was a picture.
No,
of it. You can probably
gun.
look it up. Like whatever gun he used, he's like posing with it. It's massive, and they're like, yeah, it's 20 millimeters. Like it's for anti-light armor, and he was just fucking popping Russian grapes at just crazy distances. With
However.
That's when
you know when you're in Ukraine and doing stuff like that, like we broke a record like that. It's probably one of those fucking like the Ghost of Kiev kind of things. Where like God knows like what the accuracy is.
But here's the thing too: if I had a 20 millimeter, and I'm looking out there and I see just a group of Russians, my error of like my margin of error is pretty low, and I can just like okay.
Were you aiming at that one? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
one.
When
you got 15 dudes on top of a BTR, like
that was the one I called. Yeah. We're not playing pool. You're not calling your shots.
Simo Hoyo's got 7.
That's not the bullet with your name on it. It's more like to whom it may concern.
Yeah. So I think what we were going to talk about earlier is some of the online misinformation stuff.
Oh, I literally was just looking at disinformation. I was like,
you pissing off everybody, left and right and center.
Good.
I enjoy it.
I actually have it on my phone. My old boss, Major Adam Kraft, he lives here in Texas. He wrote me. He said that Putin authorized the sanctioning of Ukrainian bloggers, meaning he's authorizing killing Ukrainian bloggers who are helping raise money for Ukraine. And I'm thinking like,
wait,
I'm your Huckleberry.
Putin is?
I think, didn't they...
Hold on. I can have that feeling again and not go to jail? Oh. Typical SIG guy.
Didn't Russia like just convict like a gymnast or an ice skater of high treason for donating money to Ukraine?
Yeah, it was like $56.70.
Convicted her for high treason?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
What do you want to know about disinformation? I'm pretty good with that.
I mean, I just think it's interesting how, I guess... Because I saw you did a video where there was a Twitter account that was you taking down misinformation of a bot. Like, how do you initially determine a target? Like when you're scrolling your feed on Instagram or Twitter, X, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and you're like, that doesn't seem right. What's the process of going from like seeing something strange to proving it?
It really a lot of it depends. So a lot of it's the same as targeting. Like when you're finding a bad guy, right? I found bad guys before, and then I give that information to my client, and my client, does whatever with that information. But typically what I look for is stuff that it's hard to put. It doesn't smell right. And usually people will send me information, or they're consistently lying or consistently filling a Russian narrative. So once I discover that, the next thing I do is I take down like all their tweets or all their posts. And the next thing I do is I develop what's called pattern of life. Now, typically this is what we use to kill people. So like I can figure out when you wake up, when you go to work, when you eat lunch, when you come home, when you make lunches for your kids, when you go to bed. I know. I might know. I can even theoretically know what room you're in, and I can use I wouldn't do it. That's a weaponeering thing. But I might use tailor a bomb just to hit that one room that doesn't destroy the entire house. Right. So after I develop proof of life, it's fascinating. What blows my mind is people go to the same places every single freaking day. They go to the same places every day. You wake up, you go to work, you stop at the gas station, you come home.
Luckily, we don't.
TV. No, apparently you don't. But most people, they do the same thing every day. I mean, wake up, go to the gym, go to work, go home, go to the grocery store. So you develop proof of or a pattern of life. And from that pattern of life, you can go, okay, typically this person is online between this hour and this hour. They fall offline at this hour. Okay, this is when they're at lunch. So you can develop a pattern, and then you can actually take that pattern and go, okay, where does this pattern fall into play with a typical 8-hour workday? Okay, it's in Belarus. Okay, so this is where this person is. So then there's other tools that I can use, and one of the tools is if there's an email address, one of the ways to grab information is to look at records of when people have updated their antivirus.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. You can say, okay, so
damn it, McAfee.
Has this email address
You
been
and those whales.
used in an updated antivirus?
God
Okay,
damn it.
yes. Okay, what computer are they using? Oh, that's interesting. What is their keyboard language? Oh, it's Cyrillic. That's interesting.
Yeah, Cyrillic is a word. What's that? I'm sorry.
Russian.
Russian language.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
Russian
thank you. I
text.
appreciate it.
It's okay.
So it's that little packet in the beef jerky.
Don't eat that.
No, you don't eat it.
That's the best part.
Honey, don't eat the Cyrillic.
So yeah, basically, that's just one of the ways. There's other ways. Like I found this one dude. This dude claimed
It's over, mother. I hate the Ukrainians. It's too late.
So this one dude claimed that Israeli snipers were shooting Palestinian kids in the head. All right. Now Israeli snipers use 338 Lapua. I'm
All
sure,
of them?
Oh, for the most part.
Or is that like I don't know.
Well, 338 Lapua, 308. But you know what a 338 Lapua does to a human body, right?
Yes.
Or at least you can imagine, right? So no one's bringing their
big boy
kid
round.
in with a little hole in their head going, oh, my son was shot by an Israeli sniper. This one doctor claimed that he went to Gaza and he evaluated, and he wrote an op-ed about it. And I read the op-ed and I'm like, that's weird. He said he got a headache from the drones overhead. I'm like, that's weird. These drones are flying way higher than you can actually, hear. Maybe depending on the kind of drone, but usually the drones fly too high for you to actually hear them. That's why they're stealthy. Right?
So it's kind of like those like Facebook posts where they have like a full intact 5.56 cartridge with the rounds, like,
Leaving.
yeah,
a fucking AR-15 round hit my house. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, no.
Remember,
not
if it hits your
really.
ear, it'll take your
If
head
it
off.
threw,
That's what I hear.
So there was just a number of inaccuracies with these stories, and so I said, "All right." I knew the name of this doctor, and I knew that he had a practice in 3 places in Virginia. So I went and I bought his cell phone milk data, his advertising data. When you go into a supermarket, your phone is connecting with the Wi-Fi, and that's why when you go to the checkout counter, you get an ad for Rao's pasta sauce. Because you were standing in front of the pasta sauce aisle for 10 seconds, and the store knows how long you're standing in front of that pasta sauce aisle, so it'll send you a coupon. So I'm like,
Man, I'm
Everyone
scared to
just got scared.
I was like,
Everyone's like,
all right, so
why I turn all my shit off.
You're married, right?
Yes.
You're married.
Well,
so have you ever
effectively.
said to your wife, like, hey, we should go to Italy? And your wife's
I
like,
know. That's how. Yeah.
And then you go to the bathroom and you come back and you look at your phone and you're like, oh, wow, there's ads for Italy. My phone's listening to me. No, your wife Googled trips to Italy. and your home router knows that your two phones are
So that's why I get so many anti-Semitic memes.
Damn her
and butt plug ads. Yes.
I'm not going to spend so much time around Connor.
Hey now. Podcast with Indiana Jones.
I'm suddenly.
Connor just from
Dodson, we got Dodson here.
Connor just yelled, "You're on the podcast with Indiana Jones right now."
So then,
Oh my god.
Hold on.
Yeah.
How does one buy cell phone data?
That was the same
Because I
thing.
was under the impression that like you could do that, but I thought you bought it in like
you buy
large
advertising.
batches.
Yeah, you buy it in large batches, and you get it as
So, I mean-
different formats. You can put it into a spreadsheet.
Are you
and
just
then-
like getting lucky though? Like assuming?
Oh no,
that you're,
no. So I know what this guy. I know where his 3 offices are, and so I just filter the spreadsheet until I find a phone that consistently is at those 3 particular.
But how do you buy a batch that you know is going to contain his information?
So you buy it for
Snowden
all
Drive.
Yeah,
Virginia for a certain,
yeah,
you buy that.
geolocated.
Yeah, it costs. I think this one cost me $13,000.
Yeah, because like we even
But I
knew,
really
like,
love my job.
even during the campaign, like just like to geolocate certain data. It's
Yeah.
like we would go for registered voters within District 23, and like that's just how to be smart about it. Like not to spend large swaths of money. You want to be as strategic as possible, especially with a smaller campaign like mine. We couldn't afford to go like, oh, let's market predominantly on mainstream TV. It's like, no, we want registered Republican voters within this geolocation area.
You guys make me feel bad. You're doing it to catch bad guys. You're trying to win an election. I just do it to sell T-shirts.
But so
I literally make dick and fart jokes as planes. So I'm right there with you, man.
I in this particular
What appears to be
case,
doing pretty well.
Yeah.
I figured out where this guy's three offices were, what cell phone was pinging from that. From that, I figured out where the guy lived, and from that, I can see like, all right, this cell phone never went to IAW, it never went to Dulles, it never showed up at Newark, which are the 2 places you would fly out of if you're going to go to Egypt, which eventually go to Gaza. Never showed up in Cairo, never showed up in Rafah, never showed up in Khan Yunis. This guy lied. He was never in Gaza. He's never in Gaza. And
You're doing fucking God's work out here, man. So this is the thing, and I recently.
That's crazy.
Well, I recently explained to.
I will find you.
The Army. So I was trying to explain to the Army National Guard, and this is the analogy I use, like the power of social media. Like this is why he's doing amazing work, because 23 years ago, September 11th, 2001, the United States suffered the worst terrorist attack in world history, like world history, not just American history, fucking world history. Okay, now here we are 23 years later, and we have people running around outside of colleges praising terrorism. Yeah. It's because Hamas has a better propaganda campaign on social media than the fucking IDF does.
Oh,
like it's
100%.
It's a weapon
and it
system.
costs less.
Yeah. Hold on.
TikTok is a weapon system.
Do you have any thoughts on? I just think it's crazy looking at politics because it's like, generally speaking, up until like the 90s, I would say, fuck communism's been a pretty American sentiment across the board, left and right. And then like 2000s, it kind of turned into more of a right-leaning thing of hating, calling Barack Obama a communist, like bashing on communism all the time. But now, for whatever, I'm obviously social media, but like Republicans seem to be the one that sympathize most with Russia, and Democrats seem to be the ones that sympathize most with Hamas.
To peel that back a little bit, though,
the opposite.
I don't think that's true at all.
An
really?
allegory.
No. Okay.
An allegory that my dad used to say was like in the 1980s with him going to school, he had like a very left-leaning English teacher, and he used to wear a shirt. Like, of course, this is like after 1984, Red Dawn came out, and he had a shirt that had like the fucking Wolverines thing. It said "Better Dead Than Red," and his English teacher hated him for it. Like, she was a very anti-Reagan, anti-everything. Like, very. It's like I feel like this has been a dichotomy within the United States for a while, even if it was a little more subversive than now.
Right.
So I'm gonna say I'm friends with Sebastian Gorka. He was Trump's former.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's a friend of mine too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Seb.
So I text him every once in a while, and I've been on his show a couple of times.
Yeah.
And we both work at Newsmax together.
Really?
And yeah.
What do you do at Newsmax?
I'm an intel guy.
Nice.
I do commentary like this. How many missiles did Iran have? Iran has 2,500 missiles. You know, I mean, it's a living. right? So I
way smarter than me.
So I one of the things that President Trump did was President Trump was the first president to send lethal aid to Ukraine, Javelin missiles, which helped win the Battle of Kyiv. And President Trump had the foresight to know that Russia, I don't want to say Russia wasn't a threat, but Russia wasn't the threat that the West was making it out to be. We can give lethal aid to the Ukrainians. President Obama gave blankets and night vision goggles. That's fine. Night vision goggles are very useful. Blankets, I like being warm, right? But President Trump gave lethal aid. Now, when you talk about...
What year was this?
This was, trying to remember. I want to say 2019. I did a video about it. But I've also had half this bottle.
Sorry, just to...
a little bit more than half.
Just to...
Your math is off.
Sorry, just to add more. I didn't mean necessarily even left-wing and right-wing politicians. I was just talking about people on social media.
So that's because they're not real.
This is, I think, what we wanted to dig into.
So
Yes,
That's because they're not real. I
dead
don't,
internet theory.
I don't think there's
That's
any.
what I wanted
I don't think
to-
there's any
sure.
Republicans running around praising Vladimir Putin. There might be some Republicans who they don't like the idea of giving Ukraine money when we have problems here. I get that. We're really not stuffing C-17s full of pallets of money and parachuting it out over Ukraine.
You mean like we do to Iran?
Well, that's a different story. Do you know the money? Do you know why we give money to Iran? Because Iran supplies about 1/3 of Iraq's power, and so we take that money and we put it into like a fund, and it's either held by Turkey or because I've been asked this question on Newsmax. It's held by either Turkey or South Korea, and then eventually we release those funds. Yeah, we give money
Hold
to
on,
Iran.
I have a pun to make. Iraq, pay your bill. This ain't Section 8, motherfucker.
We can go into why can't Iraq make their own power. That is one thing, but so
They had a thing that happened over the last 20 years.
yeah, right,
They took a big fat L.
yeah. So
I'm sorry. I like that simplification way more.
I'm just saying, like, I'm sorry, all you chuckle fucks out there, and I have a college degree in gender studies, and America lost in Afghanistan and Iraq. Find me a single strategic battle that we lost. I can come into your house, whoop your ass for 20 years, and then when I get bored of you hiding in the closet like a bitch, and I leave, you can tell everybody you won too, you little fucking... Never mind, sorry. Sorry.
Is it a bit reductive? Sure. Is it wrong? No.
So I think we're not. One of the reasons that when people say, "Oh, we're giving $56 billion to Ukraine," really what we're doing is we're sending them our old stuff. Well, I'm just tossing a number out there. We're sending them our old stuff. Right. So
It's only about 4 times that. But,
missiles expire.
Right.
You have to shoot them.
Then
There's not
they
enough
cost
days.
more money to get rid of
They cost more
safely.
money to freaking give them to the Ukrainians. Let them shoot them at the Russians. It saves us money. We get to build new ones. And there's not enough days on the... Dude, once when we trained on the ITAS, which is the... what? Well, you're like...
I'm
you want to say something?
This is my favorite segment right now. Trust me, I'm just...
Keep going.
I'm
So-
thinking of retention, and I'm like, yes.
Once
Because I have some questions, too, to bounce off after.
Absolutely. So once, like we were, when we were training on the ITAS, which is the tow system, the new tow system. We were training on the ITAS, and this guy from Raytheon gave me his card. He said, "Dude, let me know when you have gunnery. We'll bring you as many missiles that you want because they're going to expire. We have to get rid of them." And one time, I think we fired 41 missiles
Jesus.
in 8 hours.
How much was that just for you taxpayers out
A
there?
tow missile costs $60,000, but they're going to expire anyway, so it was cheaper to shoot them. And dude, I never thought I would get bored shooting tows. Tow is a wire guided anti-tank missile.
Oh, yeah, I know.
By the end of like the day, we're
have a
throwing
vitamin-
trash cans up in the air. Pull!
For the record, they have an expiration. It's literally a best buy date.
I mean,
It's not.
You ever bought meat
Hear
at
me out.
H-E-B? It's the same thing.
The toe fucks.
Here,
The
I'll
toe-
translate. You know how on like 4th of July at like 1 p.m., all the fireworks stands go 75% off.
Yeah.
That's what's going on here.
Yep.
They just don't want to pack this shit up and wait till next
Correct.
year.
Fun fact about the TOW missile: more pieces of armor apparently. I learned this recently.
First Gulf War?
Were destroyed at the Battle of 73 Easting by TOW missiles than were by Abrams. main
It is
battle.
hell on a wire.
Like
I have a bunker branding
the
T-shirt.
TOW fucks. The TOW.
Yeah.
I hate that we during my war, it was just our war. The AT-4 just weighed a lot, so we'd shoot those first. And that was like going on missions with them. They'll just remember these are lighter if you just carry the tube back. We're like, okay, initiate the ambush with these.
You can usually
It missed.
You can usually tell a weapon system is effective when both sides are co-developing it.
Yeah. That's
Well, the Russians have the Coronet. They have several.
Like what I've learned through this whole thing is that Russia has lied a lot, like they always have. But like I did research on China recently, and they just like all of our shit off of Wish is what they have. Like literally, one of their support helicopters is a Black Hawk off of Wish.
Well,
Like,
they were going to buy it. We were going to sell them the Black Hawk.
No shit.
Yeah, and
What was
and
their
they,
Black Hawk called?
It's a good thing we don't buy anything from them.
Z20 or something.
Yeah.
Z60.
It's like a Black Hawk, almost as good, smaller, kind of wrecked, but very cheap, you know. Okay, next missile system. Okay, it's called a TOW, but 550 core shoot out and
you
so
do
wreck it.
look a little Asian.
I
so
am
this is
It's the
and you're Hispanic, right?
it's the QZ
Military friend group.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the QZ-blank. It's like something America's already made before.
That's the thing.
Chinese
And so
good.
recently, they stopped developing next generation air dominance. They're just upgrading the F-22. And people are like, well, why are they doing that? The F-22 is dated. And it's like, no, we're so fucking far ahead that like when we go to war, it's like we're being sent back in time. Okay, like that's just the realism of it. No one can fuck with us logistically, navally, like anything.
There's a reason we call it near pure.
Exactly. But
It's insane. Like the number one Air Force is the Air Force. The number two
is the Navy. And the number 4 is the Marine Corps.
Marine Corps.
Yeah. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Logistically, did I ever tell you my chicken sandwich story from Egypt?
Hold on.
What?
Wait.
What?
I want to stay on the bots and people.
Sorry.
That's where we're at. So
I want to talk about this so fucking
If a lot
bad.
of these people don't exist because they're bots and it's all misinformation, do you subscribe to dead internet theory?
I don't.
You don't?
But I would
Okay.
like to start killing people.
Let's talk about
Fucking
that.
Christ.
Wow.
No, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this.
Please
It's gonna be great. I know where he's going.
Please elaborate.
So
I wanted to pose the question, like for those who don't know, like because you pointed out a lot of these accounts that you think are Russian bots, and you think a lot of the chatter going on, and especially when it comes to like Twitter and things that are kind of more bot prone, which I think they have gotten better recently. They're basically just bots
have the
talking
bots
to
gotten
bots
better?
that talk to. Well, at least they don't like try to sell me porn every day.
do they?
They talk back and forth, and that just creates fuzz that basically drowns out the real internet of like humans communicating to each other. So basically, at this point, when people try to like put something out on the internet, are you actually talking to other people, or are people largely given up and they're just drowned out by AI or
Sometimes.
bots, things like
Sometimes.
that? Is that a theory that you subscribe to? If not now, happening very soon?
I don't think it's ever going to happen completely because there's always going to be people posting things like, hey, look what I just ate for lunch, right? Like I just posted a message on Twitter saying like, hey, I was just a bunker branding. I met Clint today. Here's some neat footage. So there's
At the
always
same
going to be
time,
people doing that.
Is the Turing test getting harder?
I would. I think if I can speak in on this, looking at the development of AI and VFX, fake AI, dude, watching the new AI and then even female bots, chat bots, and how they can interact with guys.
Yeah, it's all men.
Yeah, and it is like, hey, hold up a picture to prove you're real. They can do that, and you're not going to.
So guys are now spending real whore money talking to a computer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I don't think that's that far of a stretch to just change it a little bit.
Dudes are having naughty conversations with like AI Hermione and shit. There's a lot of weebs in my chat.
Because you get to see it now.
Dear God,
Yeah, I'm just saying.
IG looking, if you know what you're looking for AI females, and you can see all these profiles that are like hundreds of thousands of followers, and if you know what you're looking for, you're like, that's AI. Majority have no fucking clue it's AI. I'm like, that is
Well,
absolutely
if it fills a need,
terrifying.
right? Does it really matter?
No, it doesn't matter. But if you're
That's
learning,
a
if
horrifying thing considering the question I asked. But
exactly, it is. It's just learning. So you're like, oh, this is human. If this is a need, how many other needs are there, and then how can we weaponize this?
I was talking with you. How did I know you're real? Right, I was texting you. When I got your phone number from
Ethan, HLC.
Ethan,
The guy next to me.
I think that
the
helps.
fake one.
That genuinely helps my theory.
I'm getting this bottle.
We got it.
That bottle.
I'm Ryan
I got
McBeth,
time.
baby.
Let's go.
No, I feel like you should keep going.
We're digging into this now.
Yeah,
So-
did you ever do the oh my god, dining out or dining in? You ever do a dining in?
Dining in.
You know, the dining in ceremony where you have the bowl of grog and the Mr. Vice.
We do
like-
basic training.
Yeah,
Try
we
to
did-
keep me away from the grog, baby.
Yeah, it's a basic training when you finalize the final ruck march for infantry. That's what we did. It's the final ruck march.
The only time I've
basic
ever had
training.
grog is at Army balls, and I tell you right now, the grog is. I went to one Army ball when I was
the
a
Army
Whites-
version of the mat shot.
I don't know what the match shot is.
It's at the end of the night. All the drinks that got spilt or fucked up that collect in the mat.
Oh,
You
Yeah, the
dump
mat.
it into a drink.
I mean, kind of like it's like significant. They're like for our time in the Philippines, they put like a Philippine whiskey in there, and then, you know, they just-
it's cleaner.
the ceremony.
yeah, it's slightly cleaner, and then
Slightly.
yeah, it's
alcohol.
It's not fit for human consumption, but I mean, like military balls are like the best experience of your life because. Like the thing that just get drunk enough to enjoy the debauchery. Like I will tell everyone who's ever been to one, just get drunk enough to enjoy the debauchery. The first one I went to, there was like a couple of Army wives almost got into a fist fight on the dance floor.
Nice.
We had a sergeant call the cops on himself because he thought he had alcohol poisoning. We had a retired CW4 pushing through the crowd because his 16-year-old daughter was brought there by one of my soldiers. I'm telling you, it was so
dear
fucking
God.
good. It was just the debauchery was just phenomenal.
If any of you guys out there want to invite us as your dates, we will join.
I would totally do that because I need a date, like badly.
You hear that, Riley Reid?
And if you
Jenna
watched the
Hayes?
conversation earlier that they didn't delete, I might have to go to the male side. I don't know. At least I won't have to change the thermostat.
That's what you go back. It's like a fucking thermostat.
So hold on.
Have you ever?
No, hold on.
Hold on.
We wanted to talk about like
Back to you want to kill people.
Yeah.
Because I
Please
know where
expand
this
on
is
that.
going,
Please
and it's
expand.
funny.
Yes, please expand.
So actually, one of the things I've been talking about since last September was we need to start kinetically targeting disinformation actors. So if you are a if you're if you are a
Hold on. Well, I'm holding the base button right here. I'm potentially
Non-American.
closer.
So if you are
curious.
if you're a civilian working in a munitions factory making artillery rounds for the enemy, are you a valid target? Hell yeah. But if you're working in a disinformation
Only
factory,
because you can potentially be killing our guys.
okay. So
Okay.
let's talk about effectors. Forget about weapons. Let's talk about effectors. When you buy a drill, do you buy a drill because you want a drill, or do you buy a drill because you want a hole?
Okay.
Buy a drill because you want a hole, right? So a drill is a hole effector, right? It creates the hole.
At what point are we sponsored by Raytheon?
It's like, shut the fuck up, Brandon.
Some of us might to be. Shut up.
I tell you, hold on. He used the term effector. That's Northrop Grumman. Hold on. All right, go ahead.
Cut to you by Nick. Chase
So-
play just a random ad from Raytheon. Don't do that.
So you have.
let's get that Raytheon money. Let's go.
Why do you use a weapon? You don't buy a Tomahawk missile because you want a Tomahawk missile. You buy a Tomahawk missile because you want an effect on a target. You might want to destroy a bridge. Now, let's say you want to deny the enemy the use of a bridge. Cool. You might use a missile or a bomb. You might use a cyber attack.
Have we
Right?
declared war on this enemy?
We're already at war.
Pause. Just wait. Just
Oh,
let him finish real
it gets
quick.
good. We're getting
All right.
We're already at war.
I'm strapped in. Let's go.
So,
Thank you. Making me feel so much better.
and I'm ready to be gay.
Leave the politician hat off for 5 seconds.
So, so
I'm
My
here.
fellow Americans. I'm sorry.
if
Not that kind.
if a foreign bot network tells a bunch of weak-minded college students to go shut down this bridge because to support Taiwan, and Taiwan has always been Chinese. And by shutting down this bridge, you are fighting the imperialist, colonialist, capitalist United States of America who just wants to use Taiwan for its resources. That's a weapon as well. It is an information weapon, and the effect is the same as blowing up the bridge or using a cyber attack on the bridge. It is exactly the same. It is a weapon system. And these people who launch these weapon systems need to be targeted and killed.
A weapon system that we have been using in almost virtually every country we have fingers in across the planet. And are we allowed to be targeted the same way in response?
Well, that's up to their lawyers, but I'm not aware of Dude, I just genuinely one of the best
Hit it! Hit the base button!
All right. Best answer,
Sir. All right.
Aren't you glad you waited?
Let him cook.
I agree, but goddamn.
And then you know what I'll do? I'll go home, I'll crack open a beer, I'll order a pizza, and I'll watch the Nats.
Jesus.
And you know, look,
you know what? Goddamn.
Let's go.
You know, look,
I'll base some good shit.
Last Sunday, I gave a briefing to the Ohio, to a Judge Advocate General Continuing Education Convention in Ohio, and I laid out my case for this. And I've been talking about this since September of last year. We need to start killing these people. That if we are at war, we need to start kinetically targeting disinformation actors. Might just target the building, might target the data center. We might target these individual people. We might use some stuff that's up close and personal.
Just to be
that's
clear,
weaponeering. I don't do.
You're targeting them for speech, to be clear.
Yeah.
Well, hold on.
Well, I'm targeting them for using a weapon system against the United States of America.
I have a question.
By weapon system, you mean speech.
Well, it's speech that's inciting a certain kind of behavior.
So by speech that is inciting a certain behavior, you mean speech.
Hold on. Hold on. Time out. I think there might be these people that
Just to clarify.
the people that you're suggesting targeting are state-funded actors that are going to a job where they have a factory of cell phones with 50,000 social media accounts. And
those are the targets. I'm not targeting somebody who said
not like a shit poster.
You're not talking about
a poopy head.
Yeah.
If you want to be a
the only differentiation between those two things is whether or not the person has the IQ to know what they're talking about.
No, the difference is that
they're
it's
just
state-funded.
State-funded and has access to...
It's a state-funded weapon system. Look,
so I'll go even further on that.
Oh, man. Do I need to move? Do I need to move?
No, I like it.
I'm right in between.
Let's go.
We were just talking about cum last episode.
Military-industrial complex or whatever fucking, redacted-esque company funding these things.
So, if you're talking about America, the military-industrial complex doesn't exist.
Well, Eisenhower disagrees.
Well, you know who else said words in 1963? Governor Wallace, right? Who said black people can't go to school.
Well, that was also a
here.
problem.
Yes. So, but look, just so
Trump standing up.
I'm feeling like
Eisenhower was right in 1963. However, by 1993, there was this event. It was called
Jurassic
The
Park.
Last Supper. You're right, Jurassic Park. The Last Supper. The Last Supper, essentially all of the top 15 defense contractors were brought into a room in the Pentagon, and they were told, listen, we don't have enough money to pay you all. So you need to start merging, or you need to figure out how to cut costs and shut down.
Is that how Grumman became Northrop Grumman?
That's how Grumman became Northrop Grumman. That's how Lockheed became Lockheed Martin. That's how Raytheon bought up ATK, all these other companies.
Oh, it's RTX now. It's not
And then
Raytheon.
the military-industrial complex ceased to be a problem after the 90s.
They did. Honestly, so listen, take a wild guess. How much money?
This has gotten off the fucking rails in the last 10 minutes.
I did a whole video about this. You do not want to contest me on this because I have the data.
Do it,
All
brother.
that shit I said about no monopolies, that was wrong. Undo it now.
Take a a wild guess. The top 5
I find
defense.
this very intellectually stimulating.
Ethan's like, can I sit here?
I kind of want to swap, man.
No.
Oh, shit, all right.
The top.
Just in case they start swinging.
The top 5 defense contractors. Take a wild guess how much money they made. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Take a wild
appreciate it,
guess how
brother.
much
Thank
money
you.
they made. Top 5
Top 5 of
defense. Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman,
over
RTX.
over what time
trillions.
period?
Last year, 2023.
600
Oh,
billion
2023.
dollars.
No,
No,
it's-
200
that's pretty,
billion.
that's pretty low.
2023. Top 5.
All of them?
Less than
All
directly
of them, all
less
5. The top 5.
1.6
less than 20
trillion.
billion.
I think I remember reading Lockheed Martin makes like fucking, I want to say like $2 million a second.
No.
I would say,
dude, it's nuts.
That's okay. I was
13 point. I want to say 13.6 billion.
Okay.
That was pretty close.
Total.
Yeah, less than 20. Yeah.
13.6 billion.
That's still.
Do you know how much money Procter and Gamble makes? Made in 2023.
Who's Procter and Gamble?
Procter and Gamble. They make.
They
that.
make
Yeah, but when they
deodorant,
make
they make
money,
everything,
when they make
everything.
money, brown people don't die
So
directly. They can choke. Procter and Gamble's a gaming company.
So Procter and Gamble made about $14 billion last year. So Procter and Gamble
Equally,
makes
okay.
more money than the top 5 defense companies. Now explain to me.
Now, did they do that in 2011?
I did not grab the data for that, but
I wonder why.
well, look,
Where are these peaks? Yeah, let's look at peaks and valleys.
Look, I can tell you this. Do you personally, well, maybe not you. Do you personally know anybody who works for a defense contractor?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you work in firearms.
I'm a mulligan. I get it.
Yeah. But for most of us, name a single person. Name a single person. A single person
Steve.
who works. Okay. Well, Steve doesn't get. Steve's an asshole.
You just say a random
Name a single person that works for a defense contractor.
white name.
So, essentially, what I'm trying to say is that companies like I think it was Apple that made $97 billion in 2023. They don't even hold a candle. So, if you're a congressman and you have Apple in your office and you have a guy from Lockheed Martin in your office, and they both have a briefcase full of money, who are you inviting in first?
Well, I can promise you, as somebody who's seen the inside of that game, which one shows up with the suitcase. One of them organically has the money.
So, for the most part,
Steve shows up a lot of the time.
Steve's a fucking dick and he lives there.
Your counter argument to there no longer existing the military-industrial complex that the Northrop Grumman only makes $11 billion.
So
Post-war.
when you compare it to, I think it's the S&P 500. I think that RTX is like number 55. So basically, the whole idea behind the military-industrial complex is that the government is buying planes and tanks and ships that it can't really afford, but we don't need, but we're buying them anyway, and we're doing it
Because they apparently expire.
well. Missiles expire. They do. The missiles expire.
Dude, if you disagree, Dick Cheney will shoot you in the fucking face.
But it's the truth.
down?
This F-22 is expiring. We need to pick it up right now.
Sorry, we're in the lightning round now. We're just fucking around.
Just swap out.
But the deal is that when you look at these companies and how much money they make, they don't really make any money. At least compared to
only $11 billion.
At least compared to other companies, McDonald's, Procter and Gamble.
Only the top companies on the planet.
Do you own any stock in Lockheed Martin? Any of the top 5 defense
I was one of the
contractors?
only congressmen that was ever going to take office without owning stock.
Okay.
No, because I'm going to
Does
go to heaven.
anybody here at this table? Does anybody here own a defense contractor stock?
No, because I'm going to heaven.
No, you
Oh,
don't,
Nick's
because
going
they
to
don't make any money.
Nick does.
You know? What do you own? What do you own?
They just made a lot
Okay,
of
does
money
anybody here
last
at the
month.
table own a 401k? Or have a 401k?
I am.
There you go. Yeah, the one who owns defense contracting.
So essentially, you don't invest in defense contractors.
I do.
I work for a defense contractor. I work for the Texas.
So
Air
nobody
Force.
has any stock in Boeing.
I don't have any stock in Boeing. I might have an index fund. that might
Boeing's
have
kind of having a
As
rough
soon
year.
as I found out that
Boeing, yeah, Boeing was not
Boeing's
good.
having some
Lockheed
hiccups
and
right
Martin
now.
made
People
a
stuck on the
good
space
chunk
station,
last
planes
month.
falling out of the air, doors
As
falling
good as
off.
Apple?
This is.
I think.
This is not.
Lockheed and Martin tripled their.
Let me talk. Have you ever tried to sell a gun to like the state or to a state organization or something like that?
They wouldn't pass the background check.
All right. So look, when I work at the Texas Aeromed Lab, it's a company that uses AI-powered drones to.
Yeah, that's a big fucking climb.
That's in 6 months. That was a month ago.
A lot of stocks went up, but
that was literally during
aggressive.
The assassination of President Trump. That is what. No, when Biden. It was the assassination, or when Biden. When
the Iranian.
No, Biden stepped down. That was one of those two things that we seen that giant.
Oh no, excuse me.
So what's have they released their profits for the quarter? Because that's where you got
the quarter's not
you got to look at
Hold on.
Well, last quarter.
That's a question for Brandon, because I know that you're very against like the speech thing, targeting government-funded agents about speech. Just playing devil's advocate.
Sure, let's go for it.
Let's explore. Not generally. The line for freedom of speech is a call to action for violence against other people. So if state-funded actors are promoting violence against other people, does that change your thought process?
In order for that to be true in regards to international diplomacy or different things overseas, you would have to also accept the fact that us calling for action within the UK riots would be grounds for the United Kingdom police to come extradite U.S. citizens, just like they're talking about doing.
Not U.S. citizens. I'm talking about like state-funded agents going to work for 8 hours a day running a bot farm.
Convincing Americans to try and do sketchy shit.
What I think is that and this is what I think for most of social media, to be honest, like, and this is it's a nuanced topic. I don't think that any of the laws have been written, or any of the rulings that have been made about the laws that are on the books have considered the ramifications behind what has happened in the last 5-10 years.
That's fair.
That's fair.
I feel like there's no actual legal precedent behind it. We've not found the line. Do you agree with that?
We haven't found the line of when you can kinetically target someone. Because we're trying to figure that out now.
McBeth is over here like, I can do it right now, actually. What do you think I was doing on the plane's Wi-Fi on the way here?
That wasn't exactly what I said, but it's close. It's
Look, I just find them. I don't do the weaponeering. And, when you're
terrifying human I know now.
How deep are we? The fedora is getting more and more menacing as time goes on.
You thought it was Ryan McBeth. This is El Chapo.
Am I an Iron Dome target if I say it was 5.9 million?
Fuck. You boys ever played shuffleboard with a mine?
Oh my god.
You'll be fine.
We're gonna figure it out. I'm just bringing it up that it's a problem, and we need to start. We need to start thinking about this, because I guarantee you that the day China decides to invade Taiwan, it's probably going to be in 2027. We've got 3 years before this happens.
I'll take all my fucking AMD stocks out.
The day China decides to do that, I guarantee you the next thing that's going to happen is China is going to wage an information warfare campaign over the internet and say to young, impressionable college students, go to the nearest naval base and glue yourself to the ship for China, because Taiwan is being influenced by the capitalist, imperialist, colonialist
Every time
United
someone
States.
says China, I think of that video. Donald Trump, don't listen to China.
China is asshole.
I love that video, man.
I don't think you're wrong. I really let me just, I know I've kind of played, ironically.
Let's kill people together.
I'm getting there.
That's the opener of the fucking thing right there. Let's kill people together.
That's the shortest intro ever. A rainbow. Let's kill people together. They're like, man, that intro beat was only 1 second.
Oh man.
The more you know.
Fucking
Christ.
I don't think you're wrong on that.
I'm
I think,
stone cold sober.
of course,
As he pours more whiskey.
I don't believe you.
there are definitely ramifications that will come to this stuff, but I don't necessarily think you're wrong, and that will be the best way. That is going to be an angle that they use to
Hear
target.
me
it.
out.
I mean, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
We
Any
can't take it to
direction.
court and figure out what's right and wrong until somebody at least does it once. No,
What I think it's like,
We
honestly,
need you to do Canada things.
Let's
again.
light the scandal, is what Nick's saying.
Look, Canada and Poland are both itching for some war crimes, so I say we just put them in the chute, let them figure it the fuck out.
Oh my god.
we've been Rangers lead the way for the last 25 years.
Yeah, just go ahead. We'll
Have
just
you guys-
slide you guys some missiles that are about to expire and
have
fucking
you-
give you a bear and let you do that.
I mean, I wonder what happened to the other Moabs that were expiring. To be honest,
Have you seen like the Communist Party that was marching through Philadelphia, and then the new Communist Party released a propaganda video to announce the new Communist Party?
they look so fucking gay,
Bro, did you find out why there's been a Communist Party in America since like 1906 or some shit? Do you know why they had to launch the new Communist Party? You're never gonna guess.
Oh god, this is gonna
Guess.
be good.
Give it a guess.
Is it branding, merchandising?
Did it have to do with the
copyright?
child?
In their mission statement, they said that they had to start the new Communist Party because the old Communist Party was too corrupt. And then in their propaganda video, they've got like all this badass like blue collar, like very Soviet era work together bullshit. They've got like a welder welding on a pipe, and they've got whatever. And then they've got a fucking harvester, like a combine, except it's white and it's got the new communist logo on the side.
What's the
except
new one?
It's not harvesting anything. So even in their commercials where they don't have to have real food, you motherfuckers still can't even imagine feeding people. It's incredible.
I think it's great that also like fake communism in a capitalist country didn't even work, so they had to come up with new communism. Fuck.
They didn't even have any power yet.
I was watching it. I love watching debates, and I was watching this like super hardcore, legitimate pro-communist guy just debate with
Destiny.
somebody that read a book. No, and he
I got a
brought
chuckle
up
from you.
he brought up China. And he's like, I don't like communism because Mao Zedong killed 40 to 80 million people. And the dude's like, well, yeah, there was some death during the revolutionary phase. But, after the revolutionary phase, China actually saw the biggest rise in the standard of living.
Thanks to Steve Jobs.
Everywhere else in the world has. No, fuck that. The breadline got 80 million motherfuckers shorter, Brandon. It's obvious why nobody was hungry anymore. What do you mean? I didn't realize that we could just kill the weak and be like, oh, fuck, and the problem solved. Now everybody's happier.
After the 10% culling, fucking, an American comes along like, hey, I need people to build an iPhone. You're like, yeah, yes, sir.
We'll do it.
How do you feel about communists, Ryan?
Oh,
I don't like communists.
I've caught on.
actually,
There was that old saying, "What, kill a commie for mommy." Like I'm
I've
old
never
enough to
heard of this
remember-
old saying.
I guess slap another magazine right into my M16, cause all I ever want to see are bodies bleeding bodies. You ever heard that cadence? Pull a pin on the hand grenade. Should have seen the mess I made.
that one I've
Cause
heard.
all
I've
I
heard
ever want to see are bodies bleeding bodies. No.
Why did you sing it like
No,
Frank
you're
Sinatra?
good at singing.
Call for
Yeah.
fire on
Fedora.
the ice cream truck. I guess those kids were out of luck. But all I ever want to see are bodies bleeding bodies. Yeah,
I
that
would have
was,
loved to run with you.
Yeah.
I
was
guarantee
great.
the soldiers were so
Oh,
hyped. They're like,
leave the city, got to get away. Yeah.
You want to
If
sing the
I
new
ever
Unsub
see
intro
you
song?
have, if you have a fucking yacht next year, I'm gonna know it was Raytheon.
Hey, Ray, cut us all in, okay?
There's a lot less bots on Twitter. I wonder what Ryan's doing. Fucking on his
Bodies
yacht.
bleeding bodies.
just bought a jet.
You never sang that cadence.
No.
I guess I'm a little older.
God,
This
your
is back
cadences
when
are
we
so
had like
good.
the
That's
whole
what's gonna
like
happen.
killing
He gets a
commies
yacht.
thing, There was that.
The Twitter trolls disappear, and the government's like, "We don't have any missiles that are about to expire." Like that's the process.
had
of
seen
how
one
it-
that-
There was
rolling down
I wish all the ladies were pies on a shelf, and I was the baker, I'd eat them all myself. I said, hey, Passerifa. Hey, Barbariba. Left, right, you're
I feel like the military had more soul back then.
All I had was killing the baby
They had
seals.
Sergeant Johnson.
I would have ran fucking all day longer. I'm like, this dude's really good.
I get a repeat of
You
C-130
can do that
rolling
stuff
down
in
the
the
strip
90s.
19
I
times
know.
during a fucking run.
Well, I told you my watch story. I don't know if I should tell that story on here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can if you want to.
Actually,
I
let's
don't
do
know
that.
if I
Wait,
should do
hold.
that.
We'll do it on the after show. Brandon, you want to?
Oh, no, I got this. I got this
you
one.
got it? You
Join
got
us
it?
on the after show where Eli Double Tap is going to butt chug an entire bottle of calamine lotion.
With Old Bay on the rim.
Sir?
We're getting some Old Bay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I felt like saying that.
That's fine. You just got to close out everyone's names too.
You're right.
And where
We've
we
got
find it.
Eli Double Tap, Nick the Fat Electrician, Ryan McBeth, myself, and Habitual Linecrosser.
Where do
We
we-
will see you at the after show.
Well, first, where do we
after
find
that.
you beautiful humans?
Oh, you can find me at, what am I, Ryan McBeth Programming at YouTube, or The Real Ryan McBeth on Instagram, or RyanMcBeth.substack.com. And if you're a bad guy, see you soon.
McBeth, read me a sonnet.
Jesus.
By the twitching of my thumb, something wicked is when it comes to
Jesus. Habituallinecrosser.com. I can't beat that. I like missiles.
That's your show. I like Mitchell. I love you. See you on the after show. Patreon. Bye.